Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, 320 Sim Pilot, and today I have something really special for you. I have managed to convince a real-world Boeing 787 airline pilot to come along and guide us through flying the 787 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll be using the fantastic Heavy Division mod for the default 787-10 in Microsoft Flight Simulator Premium Deluxe Editions. So we have our colleague Steve who will join us for this flight, and I'm going to be flying the aircraft and Steve will be guiding me through and showing us everything we need. We're going to cover a walk around, a startup, taxi out, programming everything, taking off, flying there, some en route things, some systems pages and so on, and then the descent and of course approach and landing. So yeah, a pretty all-encompassing tutorial. It was great fun to do. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's also going to be a very long video, so the time cards are in the description if you would like to jump to a specific section at a later date. Right, let's jump into the video. Okay, so here we are in London Gatwick in the Heavy Division 787-1000, and we are parked up at, as you can see, gate 102. We've got a flight plan. We're going to head down to Ibiza very shortly. There's the runways over there. You can see our Manta 320 sitting proudly on the other side of the terminal. And what we're going to do is get Steve, our Valiant 787 airline pilot, to come and join us. So hello Steve, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
How are you doing? Is that like a chat room or a chat show rival?
Be on the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Yeah, so you fly the 787.
I do.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's a great aircraft.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Well put together. It's comfortable and
excellent.
Well designed.
Yeah, easy to sit in for 12 hours doing not much, I imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. So what we'll do is we will jump into the flight deck and get it powered up. It's currently sitting here cold and dark. I'm using the Heavy Division mod, and Steve is going to take us through what needs to be done. Anything on the outside that, while we're here, I suppose, that stands out to you from this visual model? You let me know. Is it look pretty?
Really, no, it looks
functional?
pretty accurate. That's a Dash 10.
That's 10, not 1000.
Yeah, the 800, 900 thing. Sort of ended when they bought in the 787. So,
oh, I see.
787-8, -9, -10.
Oh, there's no. So it's not an 800 and 900. It is just a.
No, it's just Dash 8.
I see. Like the Max.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Excellent.
embarrass yourself if you call it the 800.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. Good. Okay.
But yeah, the big length there. So that's a Dash 10, which is the longest one.
Yep.
So there's quite a big difference between the 8 and the 10. It's quite a big difference in length.
Yeah, I mean it's not even fitting in our gate here, so that's not.
No,
much,
exactly. So the yeah, it's pretty prominent when you're taxiing.
Right.
Other than that, it's identical.
Okay. Nice. Anything you do differently while taxiing it? Compared to the 8?
No, the 10 has this momentum's a bit different. When you're taxiing, it sort of can run away with you a little bit more.
Okay.
But a lot of it's just going around corners.
Right.
Just for the pure length of it.
Well, we've got a bit of a taxi to do today, so we'll we'll definitely talk about that when we get going then. So I wanted to ask Steve what he thinks of the external model now. And this is the 787-10 that came with the premium deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I don't know if Heavy Division have modified it at all, but you can see it's not really parked on the line. Classic long haul pilot parking, that looks like to me. It's just too tired, but there we go. Yeah, so standout features of the 787, and you let me know if there's anything wrong. I see the wipers are vertical. I assume that's right.
Yeah, it's very quiet. So yeah,
the
park vertical, so that keeps the noise down.
Not bad.
There we are. That side.
It looks like quite a small flight deck at times. How does it feel? Did you want it any bigger than the sort of medium haul aircraft?
It's a good size. I think. I mean, talk to guys who flew other long haul aircraft, and they say, it's smaller.
Right.
Obviously, the sort of economy is built in mind. But
yeah.
No, it's a good size. It's got 4 seats inside.
4 seats. Oh, very good. Yeah. We can have 4 in a 320. So there you go. But it's if there were 4 in a 320, you'd see all the faces sort of right next to each other here and here, all crammed in. Okay, so nice. And what else have we got? So yeah, quite a sloped nose. One of our livery designers, Paddy, he thinks it looks just like the Comet, which I can definitely see. Seems to be the new trend, doesn't it, to have this lowered nose down at the front.
Yeah.
Great. Walk around. I guess you start here and then go around this way.
Start there and go these way around.
Same as
down towards the wheels.
Every airplane ever.
On the inside. Yeah.
Okay, so this all looks very nice, all very shiny, isn't it? Oh, look at it! You can see the reflection of the wing. That's cool.
Shiny and clean. Oh yeah.
Nice big windows, nose gear, nothing. There's nothing fancy about that. They haven't managed to change that, have they? Cargo door. So here we have what I assume is to do with the air conditioning, because it's something that sticks out and is quite unique to the 787. So yeah, what's going on here, Steve?
Yes, that's the cabin air compressors.
Okay.
There, so the 787 doesn't draw air from the engines to pressurise the cabin in the sort of traditional sense, which generally gives you a fresher cabin environment and reduce the risks of oil smells and things like that in the cabin.
Yeah, so
the whole thing basically goes through there.
On the 320, we either use the little APU jet at the back or the engine bleeds to get air both on the ground and in flight. But you're saying you don't need any of that. You're just going to use these. These just suck in air.
So it doesn't come off the engine. Yeah, so it's so it goes through there. There's the compressors, and they're basically effectively what's inside the engine to compress the air and pressurize the air, but on a separate system.
Right, very nice, very clean. What does this do? Because I've seen this open a lot and blocking
the
the
thing
intake.
on the right there. Yeah, that's it's the doors that block the intake to the compressors on the ground generally. Okay. So it stops debris getting sucked in and causing any sorts of issues.
Oh, very good.
So they're generally open on the ground and in sort of landing stages of flight, but closed in normal conditions in flight if you don't need them.
We'll come and have a look when we've powered up and see if that actually works. Because I always see that. I always think, well, why would you have an inlet and then block it straight away? It always seems strange to me. But there we go. Right, massive great engine. Quite a nice model. Does this looks right? What engines are they? Trent? Are they Trents?
There's different. Well, Trent 1000s are the ones that I got. There's variations on that.
It's quite a nice model of one, really. Looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's got this honeycomb, this sort of serrated rear. I think that's to make it quieter, isn't it?
Noise is the big thing.
Yeah, they are quiet.
Fuel burn, it helps as well.
Really? Oh, goodness me. How does it do that?
Good question. It does.
Right, come out to the wing. Anything unusual about the wings? I mean, they're composite, aren't they?
Yeah, well, the whole thing's,
The whole thing is
carbon fibre, like a Formula 1 car.
Nice. Oh, that's a nice way to put it.
Aluminium in sight.
No. Yeah, so no sharklets. It's got this sort of blended wing thing at the end.
No, that's the fuel dump thing just on the left there.
Oh, fuel dump there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you dump the fuel for quick returns. That goes out there.
Rarely used, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it depends how fast you need to come back in, really.
Yeah. So only for
reliable aircraft anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. And what else have we got? These are the inboard sort of aileron things, aren't they? Up here with the.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they do sort of all wacky things when you try and take off. I've seen.
So when it's not pressurised, I don't know if that's a pressurised hydraulic. A lot of the time they'll droop down.
Oh, they droop down normally when you walk around, don't they?
Normally, yeah, on the ground, you pressurise that all.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
and the
like that.
ailerons as well, I suppose.
Yeah, the whole thing
droops down.
Yeah, it should be drooping down, but
pretty standard. Just 4 main gear, is that right on all of them? They just
that's it.
Triple
4.
gears. It's not.
There's the dash 10 because it's a little bit longer. It has a tilting wheel thing, which the pilots don't really know anything about. But it avoids tail strikes. Is the intention.
So what does that affect? That affects the main gear, does it?
Yeah, the main gear tilts.
So it stops it from tilting too far, does it?
It just it means when you're rotating, it just gives you a little bit of a push off the ground just to pivot around a point further back.
Clever stuff.
Semi-levered gear.
This is very good. This is what happens when you make airplanes longer and longer. They always end up having to fit extra things to them, don't they? And here we go, rear fuselage, very standard, 787-10, as you said. APU at the back, I assume, nothing exciting about that.
No, usual sort of setup there.
All very sleek and shiny. This funny, like every airplane ever has the APU at the back, but the Dreamliner just couldn't have one nav light and the tail. They had to have. Well, these are the anti-collisions, aren't they? They sort of flash at the tail either side. It's just I always see it a mile off. Nice. All right then. So that is pretty representative then, you think, this model is not
it looks pretty good.
Too far off.
So that's pretty accurate.
It's what you see every day. So let's jump into the flight deck. Not every day. Yeah, no, we can't work that
too
hard. Right, let's jump in and power it up. Right, so here we are on the flight deck, and I have a little bit of a checklist here, which is pretty generic. So I can either run through that one, or you can tell us what you think needs to be done. Or how about I run through it and you interrupt if you think, or you got any thoughts on what I'm doing?
Yeah, I mean, initially looking up the overhead panel, something jumped out there a second ago. So going left to right is basically electrics, hydraulics, fuel, then air.
Right.
As we said about the hydraulics earlier, it looks like they've actually pressurised there.
Where's the hydraulics?
So sort of centre left column, down towards the bottom. There's 4 hydraulic pumps.
Here we go. Yep. Yep.
So they'd normally be off. Yeah, so they're all auto at the moment, but on the ground,
these are rotary valves.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so they should all be pointing off towards the left.
So they don't seem to work. So okay, so they would be off. And
that's the first thing that's jumped out.
Yeah. Okay. Would everything else be off normally? Like, would you turn off these?
In a very This is a quick look. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much cold, dark aircraft. Otherwise.
So would these normally be on or off?
What's that? The windshield?
Like windshield heaters and things like that.
Yeah, no, you just leave those on unless you're in hot environments or anything like that. But
finally.
Yeah, generally just leave it all on.
Yeah, AC
all
pumps
automatic.
for the electric generators all on.
Yeah, all on.
Oh, finally, because
primary pumps on. The only thing really that's off is the hydraulics and the fuel pumps, possibly the packs.
Packs as well. So
depending upon whether you've got ground air or anything else coming in.
A few of these things don't work yet in this mod, I'm afraid, but that's interesting to know because a lot of the other Boeings, the checklist, well, the cold and dark setup is everything off. You know, windshield heats off, pitot heats off.
That's pretty good.
We've been flying a few of them on the channel, so they've finally moved on from that, and we're into because the Airbus we leave everything on. Like you just turn the thing off, you just cut the power with everything on. I think the only thing is the same is fuel pumps will go off, and you turn off the IRSs, of course, which are up here. But yeah, nice. All right then. Yeah. So this is pretty representative of a cold and dark cockpit. Right, I suppose I'll start the flow. I'll get rid of that yoke. Those pedals I don't like. I'm just going to say that as well. Look at that. Why have they got holes in them? Okay, so parking brake set, which is this weird thing down here.
It's down on the bottom left, yeah.
So that's set by being pulled up?
That's set as is.
Great. Battery switch on. So that's
up there.
This one.
Yeah.
No cover, no nothing, just...
No, give it a push.
Don't worry about it. Okay, battery on.
That's it. Then you see there... Yeah, so APU. So you got it says 3 available external powers.
Oh yeah.
Generally, you use forward 2. You need 2 on to get the full range of services in the aircraft.
Really? Right. Okay.
But the APU can provide that otherwise. So what it says available or avail, that means it's plugged in and ready to go. So if you give it a push, it will turn on.
So you just use the forward 2.
Just the forward 2, yeah.
How interesting. Okay, very good. I can hear some fans starting up.
So things jump to life, but yeah, otherwise you can just turn the APU on, which is just to the right there.
And APU, just flick it round to start.
Just round to start, yeah. Which will give you.
And it just goes back to on, does it, and sit there? Okay.
Yes, it's there.
Is there any way to see the APU?
Yeah, if you go system, so just left, we've got sys, and then left you go to status.
Aha.
And then you see the APU is running up.
Very good. I've not used this mod at all, but I did try and turn it on to make sure I could, it worked, and I couldn't find even this page. I was searching through. Okay.
And then once that's running, once that gets to 100, you get on the ICAS you'll get APU running. Should appear shortly.
That's running. This is the ICAS here.
Where you go down, yeah. So I can see your mouse, but yeah. So where the landing gear lever down. Messages be there. Yeah, just left it there on the screen.
Oh, I see. Here. Yeah. Okay. It might not be. This is the early days for this mod, but
you normally get APU running there.
Okay, great. Well, that looks like it's working. Still getting hotter and hotter, but good. So that's the APU online, and then would you go onto those APU generators at this point?
So yeah, they'd normally be left on actually. Yeah,
really?
So
you leave those on?
Yeah, leave it all on.
Whether the APU's on or off, you just...
just leave the lights pushed in.
Okay.
So you see, generally there's nothing to look at. If there's no lights on the overhead, then everything's as it should be. So the AC buses are offline, but the APU you push in, they'll be on. So yeah, that's...
Right, okay.
And actually when the APU generators are on, then the external power goes to available, so you could take it away. So again, that's a bit different. So that would switch. Yeah, so it should do that automatically.
Really? Okay.
And then you can take the ground power away then.
So it automatically changes to it prioritizes the APU generator.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but not in this mod. Okay. Good. So we've got rid of the external power. Then we'll check that the landing gear lever's down, flap lever up, which is working. That's it. Good. Speed brake lever retract. Very old school speed brake lever. Engine fuel controls cut off. That's these two down in cut off. So this is just like a 757 really at this point, isn't it? It's hard to tell a difference. Fuel pump switches off, it says. So they would be off at this point.
So they would be off, yes, as it is there.
Which are all of these ones here.
That's it. Yeah.
They're all off. Engine instruments check. Fine. What am I checking?
Generally, it's a clever aeroplane, so that nothing's yellow effectively.
Yellow. Okay, yeah, it's sort of white and off. That's good news.
Yeah.
Anti-ice controls. Auto. What does auto do?
Anti-ice. So they'd be in auto. Yeah, and again, you normally walk away with them in auto.
Really?
So it knows when you're in cloud or anything like that. The engines and the wings just heat up and do their own thing.
You're joking. You don't have to do anything.
So in normal mode, you don't have to do anything at all. So it's only if you have a problem you have to turn it on or off. So yeah, generally they're in auto and you leave them that way.
Well, that's outrageous. Okay, fine. There's us leaning up to the engine anti-ice every 3 seconds in the winter. Great, okay. Anti-ice controls are auto, window heating as required. So you were saying earlier they could, in really hot conditions, you might not?
Yeah, in sort of desert conditions, things like that, you might have it off. But generally they're otherwise on, kind of as you see there.
And what have we got? We've got backup, which is always on, is it? Or
yeah, if you give it a push.
The backup doesn't work, but the normal ones do.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so generally, like I said, when you look up there, there should be no amber lights in normal conditions.
Fine, okay, there we go.
So give it a push and that's it. Yeah.
Altitude setting, well, we'll do that. We can cheat, we can just press B in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is great. This is live weather, by the way, so the UK is sitting in basking sunshine.
Lovely.
So these passengers are very unlucky. We're going to probably take them somewhere a bit colder for the first time. But there we go. IFR clearance, fuel quantity, beacon and light. So let's load on some fuel. I think we need 17.3 tons of fuel is required. Would you take, I mean, what's sort of, that's minimum fuel, so would you add any extra to that, or?
Yeah, I mean,
is it
like an aeroplane really? Not particularly, no, about 4 tons an hour.
That's not bad, is it?
Ballpark, it's pretty efficient.
Because 320 is 2 tons an hour in the cruise, so
yeah,
the fact that's outrageous.
The size and the weight of the thing.
Yeah. Although I suppose it doesn't hold, in some configurations it doesn't hold many more passengers than the 321neo.
Well,
but
no, that's true.
Pure economy one would, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to get some fuel on. Now I think we can do some of that through here. Let's see though. I might be talking nonsense. So there's our payload. Fuel on board. Oh, it's in pounds.
Pounds.
Oh no.
Like that.
We can change it to metric. There we go. That's probably going to mess up some other stuff. So how much fuel do we want? That's 50.8 tons. How much fuel does it take?
Quite a lot. 50 tons. Yeah, that sounds more of a reasonable figure. 17 sounds quite low for any flight, really.
Do you think? Because it says.
Yeah.
I've got a final reserve fuel of 2 tons, which does seem incredibly light.
Yeah, 2 tons. That's half an hour.
Wow. All right then. Well, let's drop it down. Let's see if it works. I mean, we're only going to Ibiza. Perhaps that's the reason. Let's go.
Yeah, that's probably it.
20 tons.
Yeah, something like 20 tons. Get you there.
Executes. And if I look up here, here's our little fuel gauge. 20 tons of fuel. Gross weights
changing around.
Rapidly going up. What is going on? Payload. 13 tons of payload. 169 ton takeoff weight. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. All right then. I think we've executed that. Okay. So, fuel system. By the way, how many tanks have you got? Is there a way to see it? Can I see it up here?
Yeah, again, fuel.
So what are we looking at here?
Usual thing. Wings and centre.
Left.
Again, all things fairly automated. If you put more fuel in, you'd see on the iCache you have a fuel in centre message.
Okay.
Which means you turn the centre pumps on. Yeah, so you turn the pumps on when you
these ones
get
need to
ready
come
to
on
go.
as well. Yeah. Okay.
But if at this condition with a low fuel load, you just turn the wing pumps on.
Okay. Should I do that now or later?
No, later on.
Later. Okay.
Yeah, no. You see there, it's not quite accurate, but you see on the fuel page there, it's just drawing from the back left part of the left tank.
APU, I'm
the
guessing?
APU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that picture's not quite as it would look, but yeah.
Is it not? It seems to be a standard rule that the left tank supplies the APU. It's over and over again I see that. Oh well. Okay, good. So we've got our fuel.
IRSs I'll do next. Looking at that.
Yeah, they're going to need to be done, aren't they?
It'll take about 8 minutes to get going.
This checklist I've got here doesn't seem to be very good. So let's go IRSs come on. So we'll put those on. Heading ref norm, is that fine?
Yeah, it's normal because the alternative's true.
True, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, that means magnetic then in normal, and true would be not pointing at the magnetic North Pole, it will point at the true North Pole. That's going to be used more in like polar regions, things like that. You do fly probably pretty north. Do you
pretty
stay
far north.
Heading?
Yeah,
that?
you stay on. Generally, yeah, you stay on magnetic all the way through.
Okay.
It's quite specific reasons, doing
Right.
approaches and things like that. But other than that, yes, generally stay on a magnetic.
Air traffic always expects you on a magnetic, really, don't they?
Yeah,
so, okay.
exactly.
Right. So that's. Anything else do you think we need to do to power up the airplane before we start the engines, aside from the CDU?
Yes, there's a few button presses and things to do.
Yeah, let's do those.
Quick look at the overhead panel.
Yeah.
So the IRSs are on. Generator setup. So yeah, the hydraulics we've already got on auto. You're like saying that's not working. Side light. Fuel's fine. Packs. No, that looks good.
Looks good.
Fine.
So let's talk about while those IRSs are aligned. So we've done the electrical system. So we've got there's 2 generators per engine, looks like.
Yep.
APU's on. It's pretty explanatory. IRS is very simple, so literally just on or off. And we've got some flight computers, so it does have some interferences. It is a fly-by-wire airplane ultimately, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can. There are some backups and things like that to it.
We've got normal little lighting.
That's all lights. Yeah,
passenger seatbelts.
Yeah, again, so on and then to auto is normally the way it's done.
I don't think
so
auto works.
means,
What does auto mean?
Yeah, autos, they're on below 10,000 feet, and when the oxygen masks drop and things like that,
right,
automatically turns them on.
Yeah.
So we go on and then to auto normally.
Okay. This one only lets us do on.
That's fine. Yeah.
Is there a flow? Like, is there an order? Do you do flows like
yeah,
down,
generally
up, down,
going down in 4 lines basically. So from the top left
down
through the IRSs, down through the electrics,
down.
and then starting right at the top by the CCRs and all that, working your way down, straight line there. So 4 straight lines down basically.
So this all looks reasonable.
So yeah, to the point where you don't get any orange lights apart from obviously the generators, the hydraulics, and the fuel.
Yep. Great.
So as it is, it looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So cargo fire, and then we've got the engine EEC. So what's this talking about? I've seen it in other Boeings.
EEC is in electronic engine control. It's the normal mode's the one you want, and then various failures would lead you down to press those buttons that control how you manage the engines effectively.
Okay.
And it's to do with FADEC and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, we've got in the IAE engines, which use EPR on the Airbus, we can swap between an N1 mode and an EPR mode. So
yeah, exactly. So we do TPR then to N1.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah. Cool. Great. So they're normal. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Start switch is left in norm as opposed to start, I suppose.
Norm, yeah. So they're kind of so leave them in norm when you want to start. You flick them to start, and then they'll ping back to norm once the engines are running.
Great, simple. That's a nice simple.
Again, nice. It's a simple aeroplane.
Fuel jettison. Oh, it looks like you can actually.
So there's again, yes. We were talking about if you wanted to get rid of fuel, you press arm. You work right to left, basically. Press arm, and then you can turn that dial to how much fuel you want to be left with.
Yep.
And it automatically goes to max landing weight.
So
you can say if you want to go lower than that, yeah.
Oh, clever stuff.
And then when you're ready, you press the 2 big buttons.
So obviously you jettison fuel to get back to your maximum landing weight. So you could just press arm, and it automatically knows that and just chooses how much fuel.
Knows that's what. And then if you want to, so assume it's max landing weight unless you tell it otherwise.
Clever stuff. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Fuel pumps we're leaving off for now.
For now, yeah.
Balance system, does that go on now or?
No, that's off. That's just if you're. It's just a temporary button push, basically, when your fuel ends up imbalanced for whatever reason.
Oh, clever! Right. You don't have to watch it.
It's a fairly normal reason. You press that and balances the fuel, and then turns itself off afterwards.
Oh, I'm liking the sound of this airplane more and more. That is nice. Because again, on the Airbus, we balance it by turning off the pumps on one side, and you can just sit there and forget about it, and you'll end up draining the fuel. Okay, anti-ice done. We can leave it in auto. Probably going to have the nav lights on.
Logo lights, yeah. Nav and logo maybe at this point.
Is that about it?
Yeah.
Test light doesn't work. Turn off lights off. Taxi and strobe should all be off, I'm guessing.
All for now.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of lights. It's independent choice really as to how much you want to be lit up as you're taxiing around.
They're all pretty bright LEDs, aren't they, as well?
That's nice. You've got to do quite long corners and things. So
Nice. Humid. What's this?
I don't know about that. That's a new one on me. So
could be
just a flight sim option, I think. Yeah.
Cargo temperature, is that fitted to all
Yeah,
of them?
again, so yeah, that's so the bulk cargo's got auto mode, and then the forward cargo, depending if you're carrying, you carry fish or pets or fruit or anything like that, it might have a temperature that it wants to be set at. It might be 6 degrees or 18 degrees, and you can change the flow of the air as well. So you turn that round, and then if you go to the systems page we looked at earlier with the APU,
let's see if it's there,
and then press air.
Oh, systems. I don't
systems, then air.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom left, you got forward.
Yeah. 75.
So it's 74. Yeah, 70 Fahrenheit. So yeah, 70. So you turn that knob, the 75 would. You turn that. That's the temperature you're commanding.
So 75 is commanded, 74 is actual.
Yeah.
Okay, great, nice. So we'll leave that as it is, assuming we haven't got any things to worry about with that. Air conditioning then. Auto.
Again, all auto for the automatic system. Yeah.
So I've turned on the airplane, I've turned on the APU, I haven't turned on the APU bleed or anything like that. Is there air conditioning coming into the cabin now?
Yeah, so PAX, you see, it says auto there. If you give one of those a push, it'll go to off.
Oh, they don't work.
But they don't work. So if that's set off, then the PAX aren't working, or there's no air coming in for whatever
But you would leave these on, so normally you arrive at the airplane and you turn it on and you're going to get power and air flow.
You get power and air, and once the APU's on, you get air through the PAX. Yeah.
That's great, isn't it? So you nearly never don't have airflow, I guess.
No, exactly.
It's not a huge strain on the aircraft because obviously APU bleed, when we use a bleed air on the APU on the Airbus, it uses more fuel, so we don't use it all the time. But
yeah, it's more of an electrical constraint than a thing like so when you have the ground power, you won't get air through the PAX because the power it was. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Very good. Cool. So that's on. We're getting air, ventilation norm, pressurization, auto.
Again, auto. Yeah. The whole thing, it knows your landing altitude and everything through the route you set up.
The Airbus does do that. There we go. I can say that.
There you go. You got that.
Finally. Max delta P, landing altitude if you need it. I suppose that's a manual thing in case you want to override it, is it?
Yeah. Again, yes. Yeah. The reasons you'd use that.
Great. And then some HUD brightness. We'll talk about the HUD when we get going. Okay. So the overhead panel's done. The IRSs probably need aligning. So.
So let's see on the nav page. So we press ND on the top right there. There you go. Does it say time to align still?
It does.
Yeah, it does in the top left
2 minutes 22. Very good. So it tells you. Nice. So this is quite...
It's about 8 minutes it takes.
8 minutes. That's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. Oh yeah, that nice little clock here as well.
And then when it all jumps into life, you get nice pictures and things to look at.
Pictures. So shall we jump into the CDU and load it up?
There's a bit more. Yeah, you do the CDU.
Oh, is there any more? Sorry, no, tell me.
Yeah, it's the at the top there as well. The the glaze shield. A bit of that to.
How would this be at this point?
Tidy up. So flight directors you want to turn on there. I don't know if the recall works. Get that push. I'll tell you what you've forgotten.
You've managed to lose me straight away.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Where's flight? Oh, there's a flight director.
Let's start at the top. Start at the very left. So accept, cancel, reject. That's for the CPDLC.
Okay. Yeah. That's talking to air traffic control through the screens, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bit of barrow set and things like that, minimums.
So minimums is for the approach. We're not worried now. Barrow, we've set the correct QNH. It's on 30.15. It would be on a QNH, of course, but I can swap it over. There we go.
It's on inches and millibars. Yeah. So you can switch over and where you're going to.
And then we can just push for standards and push it back. Nice.
That's it. Then system, so you got sys, CDU, info, checklist, common, ND.
Yep.
So it's quite a clever setup. You can basically put any screen on any of the, or any picture on any screen you want.
Okay.
So if you press sys or CDU, you can move the CDU up to one of the top screens.
I see.
Work on this. CDU and op. Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
Checklist, ND, and then if you wanted to, you can, I don't know if it'll work again, press ND. On the bottom, you've got a copy of that down below next to the FMC. Same sort of things. CDU info. So you can press those buttons there and bring the ND down or the checklist down. So you can move any screen around to where you want it.
It looks like it's not working, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, so on lower MFD, I could press ND and have the navigation display here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. So that just covers in case any of these gets broken, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Like the ICAS button there, that switches the engine displays from the left to the right side.
Oh, very good.
Depending upon who wants to look at it.
Right. Oh, so how have we got... why have I got...
So you press... above that, you've got a left and a right. So the left side's correct at the moment. So that's the side you're controlling. If you press the R on that, then the white light should come on. There you go. And then that means the buttons you're pressing control the right side of that screen.
Oh, I
so
see.
You press ND now, then you get a big ND screen.
Right. Oh, it is complicated, isn't it?
You can have any screen, any possible setup you want.
Goodness me, I didn't expect that to be quite like that. Okay.
So if you press the left side again now, you can, and within the systems page, you can have doors and air, and you have all sorts of different setups.
Goodness me. So, what if I want a navigation display here? How about that for traditional? How do I do that from here? So I need to.
Whereabouts?
So if I want this whole thing to be a navigation display, I've got
this
is navigation and this is system. So if I get rid of systems, we get
you one big ND.
One
and then
big ND.
If you want, if you press MFD left.
Yep.
Then you can move the system. You press system again.
And then
that brings on the left side of the screen.
Or the checklist or whatever I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's currently not working, but there we go.
No, it's quite a complicated way of moving screens around.
It's not bad, is it? So let's put the ICAS there.
Gives every option, isn't it?
Well, how would we normally have it? Tell us. What would you normally have?
So something like that would be typical for actual flying.
Navigation.
When you're sat on the ground, you might want to look at the doors or air or whatever else is going on at the time. So you can have a different setup completely.
Oh, what's going on here? Why can't it let me? Oh, I can't do the right because I've got the ECAS on this.
Yeah, because So if you have to move the ICAS to the other side first.
Right.
So someone's got to have the ICAS, and then between you, you've got 3 different choices of
doors. There we go. Something like that. Then
so
on
you
the ground.
If you press right side for the MFD now.
Yeah.
And then press system again.
Hey.
Oh, there's a flights. Yeah, must be flights of difference, but yeah, normally you could have doors and air or hydraulics. Or something else as well.
You're allowed 2 systems pages on the ground.
Yeah, 2 different system pages up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants that.
But yeah, that must be. But anyway, so you've got quite a lot of choice.
Right, you do, don't you? I didn't expect that. Well, let's leave it there.
So, just give the recall a press below that ICAS. It's got cancel/recall.
There we go. Nope, sadly not. That's for cautions and warnings, is it?
Yeah. So again, that would appear where it says down gear on the ICAS, just above there. You'd get.
It would say. You'd
get to tell you engine shut down, doors open, all that sort of things at the moment.
Nice.
And then before you're going, you'd check that everything's set up correctly. It's a bit of a catch-all.
Great. Goodness me, yeah, didn't think all that was coming out of that panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meters, obviously, you can set that to meters. Flight path vector, I assume.
Flight over China and things like that. You go into meters. Yeah, flight path vector. Yeah.
And this one here, what does this do? This is the ND mode.
ND mode with set for map, plan. Yeah, so if you press that, you get a plan, and then you can step through your route and look at your destination and things like that. But we haven't got a route in yet, so.
This is letting me click on it on the screen. I assume they're not touch screens.
No, so you've got a mouse pad down the left there.
That's using this, is it?
Yeah.
So
what that would do.
So you could just choose to scroll around on this screen.
You can do it. Yeah, you can either do it through the buttons and the knobs, or you can do it through the touchpad.
What's easier? What do you normally do?
A bit of both, actually.
Really? Okay.
Kind of what you're trying to achieve here. So press menu there. ND.
Press menu. Yeah.
Then there you've got more choices of terrain, weather, data. Wow. You'd want to have airport.
Yeah.
Graphics, TCAS, then VORs. So.
Let's have a lot.
And then there's normally a VSD, but it looks like that's not available either. That's a vertical situation display, I think it stands for.
Okay.
Which sits in the bottom of the ND there, which shows you a picture.
Oh, there it is, VSD.
Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, it's blacked out for some reason.
Maybe we haven't got a route or anything, perhaps. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, possibly.
It might not be working yet.
It's quite good.
Okay.
Might work later.
Yeah, we'll see. Right.
So the rest of it looks okay. Auto throttle arm switches are on.
Just leave those on. They'd be on before start.
Yeah, they should be on. Yeah, and flight directors are on.
Yeah, those are on. Very old school switch that.
Yeah. And then the rest of it's things to do later on, really.
I'll disengage, leave that up, and then there's just the same for the
copy field size. Yeah.
Great.
While you're there. Yeah, just in the middle there, just auto quick to RTO while you're at it.
You do that now? Doesn't matter?
Yeah. Parts your scan round, really.
Oh, this is annoying. I've got some hardware that's not letting me do that. There we go. Okay.
There you go.
That's worked. RTO. Good.
And then looking down at the centre pedestal there, there's probably not a lot to look at, actually.
No, we've got stab trim norm, fuel cut. I mean, this looks just like a 737.
Yes, standard Boeing things really. Talk to who you want to talk to.
So this is going to be. This is what have we got? We got.
So there's a captain's one, an FO's one, and then for the heavy pilot, effectively the guy sat on the jump seat behind you, or a backup, or so between. Yeah, so if someone sat there,
yep,
they've got their own one, so they can do company calls or talk to the cabin or whatever needs to be done.
Very nice.
If you've got an extra person.
Very straightforward.
The lines at the top of VHS, HF, cab is cabin.
Yeah. So you can talk to the cabin. Yeah.
Yeah. GPWS. Looks like they're working, but.
And this way, your transponder, we can do our codes and whatnot.
That's it.
Very good.
Yeah, just in the middle while you're at it, the transponder between the two fire handles there. That's the transponder, just to get to TCAS to RAR or anything like that.
So we leave it standby for now, of course.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, then you get to transponder and then eventually to TCAS RA.
Very good. And this here is I see. This is the third radio panel, right? Okay.
So yeah, there are 3 copies of all the same.
So that's literally all that's down here, isn't it? Rudder trim, radio panel, and that's it.
Flight deck access and a couple of bits, and that's about it. Yeah,
great.
Not a lot else.
Very good. No, it's a really minimalist sort of cockpit, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Not a lot to look at, actually.
Over here, what's this?
So that's depending upon the airline configuration. That's manuals, performance.
Okay.
You can do on there. Performance is the main thing, really, and then it's got a video screen to look at the door,
right?
Like the door and things like that.
Sadly,
again,
not working
that's probably not working.
No.
There's a tiller on the left.
Is there a tiller on both sides in this?
Yeah, both sides.
Very good. And then obviously the standard, very normal oxygen mask. Looks exactly the same as the Airbus.
Right at that screen, you have to look at that while you're at it.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Foot and shoulder heaters. So what does this do? Pump hot air to your feet, or?
No, the foot one's an electrical panel just underneath the rudders.
For goodness sake.
That electric panel heats up, and the shoulders goes up over the side vents and keeps you toasty at 3 o'clock in the morning.
How does it do that?
Just that side vent by the window.
Oh, it's that?
One there. Yeah, it's that.
Oh, right. So it's a very fancy sounding switch, but really it's just an air vent. Fine. Yeah, you got another little vent here.
And lights, yeah. There's a transmit mic and all bits and bobs.
Good. All right, then. Work table. Where's that? You don't have a table.
It's down the left of the tiller.
Where?
So below the oxygen mask. Yeah, there's a pop out below the oxygen mask. There's a little handle. You give that pull and table pops out.
Really? Is it useful or just for eating?
Yeah, it's kind of. You can't eat your dinner off it like the Airbus.
No. Okay. Very good. All right then. So next thing we'll do is the CDU. Right. So the airplane now is powered up. We've got the overhead panel sorted. We've got the fuel on board and the payload. So our next step is to load in the CDU. Is that right, Steve? CDU?
Yeah, that's it. CDU.
What does that stand for?
FMC, CDU, FMS.
MCDU,
FMGC.
Right, okay, so let's... oh, I don't know what I've pressed. Right, so this is a screen then. It's
Control display unit. There you go.
Very good, thank you.
So init ref is a good place to start.
Is this, how would you do this? Is this touchscreen? Is this the cursor?
No, so again, yeah, so the cursor. So you see there it says EFB, LR and lower.
Yeah.
So that's like there was with the MFD earlier. That determines where the mouse goes effectively. So at the moment, lower would be lit up because the mouse is on the lower. On
here. And if it was EFB, that would be this thing over here.
If you moved it over there, then you can move it to the center screens.
Right, so okay. That seems like a pain compared to actually buttons. Is it worse or better?
Yeah, I think it's got pros and cons. I think it's so versatile in what you can do with it.
Right.
In terms of having, like I said, put all sorts of different screens in different places.
Yeah.
Which actually is
I see.
Quite handy. Yeah. And it's quite a clever setup. It especially with the checklist, it leads you. So if the cursors. If you're having to move the cursor in the checklist, you have to think about why you're doing it. I don't know if the checklist works on here or not. I don't think it does it? But
no, not from what we've seen.
Yeah, so it's quite it's more clever than it initially seems.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think the plan was for it to be touchscreen at some point in the design, but
right. Yeah, it feels like a touchscreen would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would just be greasy in a second, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You eat on your long haul flights. Okay, so init ref. Let's click that. Here we go.
And then ident to the top left.
Yep.
That's kind of your So that's a database it's got there and various other bits and bobs.
Oh, it says G and A. So we haven't got trains. We've got the other ones.
Different ones available. Yeah.
Okay.
The ones. Certain ones that were causing issues a couple of years ago, and certain ones that weren't.
Right, there seems to be a running theme in the industry.
Yeah.
There's some engines going in and out of favour.
So the bottom right of that, so a lot of that's database things, but then POS in it on the bottom right.
So it just leads us through it, yep.
Leads you through it. So it's got a GPS position. So normally it would know its IRS position.
Right. Oh, it does that automatically, does it?
Yeah, so you can, if you click on GPS position.
Yeah.
And then you can move that down there.
Dump that in there. There we go. Yeah, which looks about right for Gatwick, doesn't it?
Ref Airport, probably Gatwick.
So just
yeah, again, I think that just gives you a reference. A lot of this is automatic in the real aeroplane, but
okay.
If you did gate at Gatwick, it would tell you, and you could compare the two and make sure you're in the right position.
Chances of this working are about 0. I've tried it in every flight simulator ever.
Looks pretty close, doesn't it? 51 north. But...
I wonder though. Yeah, it doesn't ever change. No. There we go. Okay, do I need to set heading?
No, again, that should... Is there a heading if you look up it a little bit? See if there's a heading there.
It says 171. Do I need to do anything to this? I've seen this.
Yeah, if that's about right, then...
Pausing it. Sorry, we're back.
Again,
just leave it low.
Airplane. Yeah, if in the real airplane, you have to do this.
Okay.
So if it looks about right out the window, then stick with it, I think.
I won't fiddle with that then.
Routes, next one, so it leads you through, like I said.
So do I need to do this page 2 and 3? Up here, it says page 1 and 3.
Not normally. Give it next page and see what it says.
Oh, I see. It's just extra info, isn't it?
There's extra bits and bobs about what. Yeah. So it's got there's 3 RSs and GPS. It has different positions if you have an issue.
There's 3 RSs, but we only turned on 2. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's Boeingism.
No, one's just hidden away. Don't touch it. Okay. So next is route. Right.
Route, so,
I'm going to impress you here.
Yeah. Just see if the request works. Show me off. That's not going to work, but
why is it should work. Okay, let me check why not. If I go to heavy is the name of this mod. Do you have that? You don't have that button.
No.
So that's the name of this mod. If I go to config simbrief, it's lost it. I maybe have to type in every flight. Let me put in my info. Okay, so enter the information. Right, so we were on a nitref. And we did ident, POS in it, and now we're on the
route we got to there. So,
it's now available. The button's there, which is quite cool. So I click that. Load flight plan from that SB is simbrief. From game would be loading it in from flight simulator itself. But let's do from simbrief. And there it goes. So what's it doing? Does it do this in the airplane? This sort of amber thing?
No, I don't know what this is. This is.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So press activate in the bottom right.
Activates.
Yeah.
It's not working. Should that work? Oh, there we go. So that's interesting. The light here didn't come on, but the light here did.
Execute.
So it did work when I pressed it anyway, even though the light didn't come on. So the green light should have been there and
normally get an execute. It says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And you press execute.
Okay.
And it does it.
Cool.
So yeah, if you press the next page on that, it would lead you. Sorry,
I forgot you were here. I was just going to start doing things. 2 6 left. So there we go. Here we have it again. So if I press activate, but if I try this green execute here, it seems to work.
Oh, so that one works. Yeah.
Okay.
So the next, you can flick through the route, but the next thing is really depart arrive.
So I don't do perf in it. I'll do depart arrive.
Depart arrive, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can work through.
Where are we going by? Is there a way to see that on the screen at this point? Is there a plan?
Yeah, if you go plan, then and zoom out a little bit on the range, then it will sort of show you where.
Zoom out. Can you sort of drag and scroll around the screen or anything like that?
Yeah, they're normally at the bottom. If you press, what would you want to press? Left on the ND, up a little bit. Yeah.
That.
Press left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the real aeroplane you get step and a few other bits and bobs.
Okay, right, fair enough.
And central cursor and things like that.
Okay, I won't worry about that. Anyway, there we go. It's going by Bembo. I think we use this. So I think it's going to be a Seaford departure. So let me. No, don't do that. Erase. Oh, it's bad because I click on another screen and it always just does something. Seaford. Which one would it be? Should try the one X-ray. I really don't know if these are legitimate 787 departures. It's probably
no. Again, yeah, I think
9 times out of 10 on my channel, I end up using a prop departure or something. A lot. Right. So do I need to do anything now? So execute.
So it looks like you're there. Yeah. Yeah, you can put an arrival in, but there was a bit of a thing from Boeing to say don't do that because it upsets the go around performance and things. So normally do the arrival on the way.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, change this through. So there you can step through the route.
Yeah, and that worked. So Seaford, Benbow, great. So that was our departure arrival. So we've done the departure. So that's all good. Where would you go from there?
Normally press prog, and then just double check the distance.
Prog, okay.
That's
so
about right.
775. Yeah.
Miles, Navrad down the bottom left.
Navrad.
Yeah. Make sure this. So again, you just have something auto-tuned in there. It auto-tunes its way along, but
yeah, the Airbus is the same, but in Flight Simulator it never shows it. But
sure.
So it should just tune some VORs. It does it itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Yeah.
And then from there, if you go back to init ref, it should lead you back to where you want to be. Again,
it doesn't. Yeah, so the 7.3 does. So I'm assuming that's just this mod. So automatically it would just go back to perf.
Perf, I think was what you wanted there. So perf, yeah. So a few bits to fill in there. So you've got to cruise out and things already actually. So you normally do a cost index, cruise out, step size if you want to change that, and then reserves to fill in.
What's step size?
So you can have ICAO. It defaults to ICAO actually. But you can change for cruise climb, so you can have 1,000, 2,000 feet. So initially with your weight, when you take off, it would say go to 380, and then as you burn off fuel, you'll climb up to 400 or 41, 43, something like that. So you can change a step.
So we'll leave that as RVSM because it doesn't seem to be giving us an option. Reserves, I assume, is just the number we want to have as our reserve.
Whatever you want to tons, I suppose. So
our reserves today, our alternate's 3.6 and our final reserve's 2.1. So that's going to be 5.7. Yeah, you thought I was going to ask you there, didn't you? You panicked.
No, I don't.
Hello.
You here.
5.7 kilograms. I mean, that doesn't format it right.
Symbolism, I think, again.
Yeah, that should say thousands, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. So we go 5.7. Anything else?
Again, no. So again, I think in the real aircraft it leads you through to the takeoff bit. So
I'm actually going to go to 390. I'm going to change that. There we go. Okay.
If I thrust limb.
Yep.
And then take off. There we go.
Anything I need to do here?
You'll come back to that a bit.
Okay, take off.
So this is where you normally do your own performance.
So I'm hoping it will work, but I don't know.
Yeah, so normally you'd run some performance with the weather and things like that, and it would, from the EFB, you could send it across.
Well, seeing as Gatwick 26 left is... Oh, you can send it across from that screen on the left, can you?
On that yeah, so you'd run your performance with the environmentals and then send it across to the CDU.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Right, okay. So we can't do that today. So 26 left's a massive runway. What flaps?
So like flap 5 would work there.
5.
Yeah.
Good old 5. Okay.
5. And then try some V1 numbers. If you type in 80, that can sort of... Does it work out?
Yeah, you just click on it and it does it. Yeah, so flight simulators are often like this because no one has their own performance calculators at home. Right, so thrust to takeoff 1. Do we need to do anything to that?
Yeah, again, that all comes across from the EFB.
Okay, so that's a D rate of some sort.
Yeah, it's a double D rate, that's right.
Okay, so we're not going to worry about that because we haven't got that running. So I'll finish these speeds. There you go, 127, 42, 53. Sound reasonable?
Sound good.
Gross weight of 170 tons. What's the sort of a typical long haul gross weight? I know we're
I mean, depends how far you're going, obviously. 200, 220, something like that.
Wow.
For a longer flight.
That's what blows my mind. It's not the size of it. You know, it is bigger obviously than a 321, but it's the weights. You know, 321 goes up to sort of 90 tons, so it's like it's well over double the weight.
Yeah,
it's not twice as long. It's just it's quite funny. All right, cool. Takeoff 26 left. Anything else to do here?
No, again, you might have an intersection or something if you've chosen that.
Oh, I see. Position.
Next page on there.
Next page.
There's various wind elements you could change, but it looks like it's just worked out for a dry runway and calm wind. It's calm wind is working on, isn't it? And then acceleration height you could change if you wanted to, but 1500 is good.
1500 is good. Okay, great.
So if you do thrust limb, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So thrust limb. I see. So it takes you through to thrust limb again.
Back to there. So yeah, you could change. So there, it's got a 10% D rate at 23 degrees, which I guess is the outside, isn't it? So you could pick
what D rate?
Sorry, yeah. So it's got there's double D rate. So it's got TO, TO1, TO2, which is 10 and 20% derate on the left.
Oh, I see here. Yeah,
and
okay.
You also have assumed temperature. So on the top left where it says select temperature, you could put 30 or whatever
right now,
churn out.
It's if I took off now, it's going to use a 10% derate automatically.
10% of max, yeah.
And if I did that, it's going to use Toga.
That's Toga, yeah. And then you could have TO2, and it goes to climb thrust. It just pulls that down to where.
There it is. Yeah.
Yes, you could change that if you wanted to.
So if we did 10%, and then you said 30 degrees.
530 and see what that.
Does it just have to be higher than this number, or are there limits on it? Like the Airbus goes from sort of like it's in the 40s up to 69 degrees usually.
Okay, yeah. It's quite a complicated system because it does its double derate, and it's it basically uses every meter of runway possible to just scrape over the fence.
Yeah, you see the 787s, they're terrifying.
But the theory is that the engines, I mean, sometimes you take off with 50% of available thrust, but it just gets over the edge. But the idea is that it looks after the engines so well that it's actually good for them.
It's better to do it that way all the time than and then if it does fail, it still has the performance left over anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, so 30 and TO1 and climb 1's reasonable.
Great. So climb 1 and climb 2, these are different climb profiles?
I don't know if it would work on this, but you try climb 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you're going to take off at TO1.
Yeah.
And then you'll climb at climb 2. So somewhere like Gatwick where there's no terrain around, you could, at acceleration altitude, you'd go back to climb 2 thrust, and then it would save the engines even more, so you have quite a gentle climb.
Oh, well, let's do that then. Let's do the full 787 lazy experience where it barely moves. Great, and it says FMC pre-flight complete.
Pre-flight complete is good. So from there you can go up to the ICAS page. Just looking up a bit. So you can see on the right there it's got DTO.
Rudders. They're getting really upset. There we go. Okay. Right.
So the
menu.
No, the ICAS page. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You keep saying ICAS, and I keep clicking on the ND. Yeah.
So there you see you've got DTO and 30. So that's what we've asked for. That's the D-rate we've asked for. Then from there you can go up to the MCDU. So the overhead panel there. So you put in IAS, you put in your V2 speed.
Right. Okay, so takeoff page here, V2 was 153.
Yes, you put 153 in there.
That's boring. Don't have to do that on the Airbus. Come on. Scrolling is a nightmare in this simulator at the moment because of my mouse. Come on, you can do it. Let's click through. No! Come on. It thinks it's helping by jumping, but there we go. Okay, so 152. 153. It's not even right. 153.
Then LNAV and VNAV, press there.
LNAV, VNAV, that's in.
Runway heading.
Okay, that'll be something like 26, won't it? Just line up with that pink line.
Yeah.
So you still have to update the heading bug, do you, in this airplane?
Yeah, it's not clever. Apart from when you're landing.
See, that's amazing. Because even the A300 had a heading bug. You don't have a heading bug in the Airbus unless you're actually flying in heading mode. But the A300, you could just press it and it would recenter.
No,
I mean, it didn't even have that in the 787. There's everything else for you. Okay, so
that's why you're there, VS, so then you stop altitude you change as well for the SID.
Yeah, stop altitude. Let me.
So you'd have VS in that window, then stop whatever that was.
VS in the window, sorry.
So VS, you could have flight path angle otherwise.
I see.
You've gone to. So if you knock the auto throttle out, and then press VNAV.
Hello, the cat's joined us. Everyone knows the cat. Don't worry. Okay, so right, I'm back. I'm making a mess of this. Auto thrust back on. LNAV, VNAV.
Yeah, but I don't know why the auto throttle's come on there as well. You give that button a push. No, the one below it. Flight simism.
That's my fault for pressing the wrong things. I think it's just going to keep doing that now. We'll ignore that.
Yeah. 26, VS, which is what you want, and then, whatever that stop altitude would be.
Right, so 4,000 is our stop altitude on that departure. Yep. Okay, and I can actually show my viewers that. There it is. So that's what we're going to fly. That's the Seaford 1 X-ray. Yes, it says nighttime only, so if everybody could please pretend it's dark outside when we do this. And we're going to take off and go down to Seaford. Okay, so
normally just to sweep things up, you'd request the winds at this point.
In here?
Yeah, so again, you go down there to FMC Com.
Yeah.
You do a wind request. Descent forecast. Yeah, no, I think that's Yeah, just
No,
leave it on there.
none of the buttons seem to be working either.
Yeah, so yeah, normally you'd have winds that would come at this point.
Okay.
Which kind of gets you ready to go.
Great. So we've done our perf. So what page would we set up on here now? What would you do?
So one would normally have legs.
Oh, legs. Okay.
And the other one would have that takeoff ref page.
This other one doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay. So
so legs and takeoff ref are the two you'd normally have.
Okay. HUD, does that come down at this point?
Yeah, so you bring that down at some point.
Get in the way. There we go. We can have our HUDs out. 4,000 feet, toga, LNAV, VNAV, armed. That all looks pretty right to you, does it?
Yeah, that's about
like
right.
a mini nav display down here, not just the compass. That's quite cool. I didn't know that. Very good. Right. So
you normally have a bit of a briefing and then do some checklists shortly after.
Briefing, and that would be all electronic checklists.
Yeah, again, I don't know if that wasn't working. So
okay. Let's see if I can find a checklist and then get the engine started. Okay, so I reckon we're nearly ready to go. Steve thinks so as well. So let's run our prior to starting checklist. So we'd have obviously called air traffic controller. We'd have got our clearance, and we need to put in our squawk, I suppose. So I'll go to transponder, and then just type
transponder.
it in.
You can type it in.
Go with that. Oh, well.
Didn't like that.
Didn't like that one. Why is that?
Where did you press on the top left there?
2.5. Let's just make one up. It's not taking it. Any reason? Is that what you normally do? You just type it in?
And then you press in the top left.
That one there. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it would normally work that.
Strange. Okay. Alright then, we won't worry about that. The transponder would be set, and we would put this to transponder or out.
Yeah, you would transponder. Yeah.
Transponder.
Yeah. So you go up to the pumps at the top, so they'd go to auto at this point.
Fuel pumps.
The hydraulic pumps. The hydraulic pumps are auto, but they are where they are now.
Which are already also. Which is that? It's all of them. Is it all four?
Yeah, all four want to be in auto at this point, so that as it is now is fine. And then the fuel pumps. So you'd do the wing pumps, and then at this point you check the ICAS to see if you need to send the centre pumps on or not. But you're saying that's not working. So.
But I noticed by turning on those pumps, these press lights on the centre tanks went out, which is quite. Is that right?
Yeah. So again, that would
be. I don't need them.
So like that, I think I'd go with that. Because if you press the centre ones in, then you might get press.
I don't know. That might not be modelled. That might be too much.
Yeah, I think that's a model thing. So you do that, turn the beacon on at this point.
Beacon's down here.
And then you do a recall, again, which isn't working. You turn the transponder on and set the trim.
So we've done the transponder and set the trim.
So you look in the ICAS. Is it? No, it hasn't got it there. Yeah, so that's what it is at the moment. Normally you'd have something in magenta telling you what you want.
Oh, really? That's
so you'd say, get a 4.5 and you'd move it until you got that.
I wonder if I go to takeoff, it just says C.
Yeah, it would be in there.
I wonder maybe if I try heavy payload. Does any of this look useful? No.
19. No, because that doesn't really correspond to what you.
Oh, I shouldn't have pressed that. I think it just reloaded to where we were. I'm hoping same weight. Yeah, 169 tons. Okay, well, we won't worry too much about that then. But so normally the airplane does tell you your trim, which is pretty good, isn't it?
It's got a on it. It's got a nose wheel sensor. So if the trim is wrong, it'll tell you if the airplane's been misloaded or anything. Wow,
clever stuff. All right then. So that's just about in the green. It won't. Funnily enough, it won't let me go any further on the trim there.
So I think it doesn't actually line up. Sometimes it's a bit odd. The graphic it's one of the strange things in the 7. The graphic and the 8.5 there, and the magenta what it's demanding don't actually line up as much as you'd like them to.
Oh, strange.
It's a bit odd. But
is 8.5 a reasonable number?
I think so. Yeah, it looks sort of central anyway.
Hopefully it's near the green, so it seems all right. Okay, good. So it's got a beacon on. I noticed it's gone quiet. The fans have turned off. Is that would anything have done that?
No, nothing would have done that. I don't think.
No, because it shouldn't know, should it?
Nothing's changed.
Okay. All right then. Let us see. So my checklist says beacon lights on. We've done that. Brakes off. Pushback. Cool. Yeah. And then we're going to have the AP generator on. Anti-ice on. Well, we don't need that. Brakes verify on. They're on. Engine start. I don't know. The checklist I've got, it doesn't seem to tell us a whole lot. So let's get pushback. And then so I'm going to connect the tug. which hopefully will appear outside. There it goes. Doors are all closed. We could have had the jetway attached, actually. I should have done that. And check there's no traffic behind. And we'll just push back, and we're going to cruise out. We want to go... this is really hard for me. We're going to put the nose facing over here and then go out and right. So let's see if I can do that. Is the beacon on? I can't see it flashing.
No, it doesn't look like it is it?
Incredibly bright.
Again, but there's a model.
Normally the lights are pretty... Where is the beacon? Oh, it's this one here.
There it is, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
it's
just
flashing,
about going. Good, good, good. Oh, we can also have a nice... you'll like this. Let's find a nice... wing view. There you go. All the passengers sitting there excited to go on holiday.
Going on my holiday.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to the cockpit then, and there we go. So they're connected. Any message on the flight deck when they're connected? Does it show up anywhere?
Yeah. So again, on where the ICAS would be above the down, you can get nose wheel steering locks out. So they have a pin they put in.
Good.
And they can call you on things, but yeah.
Same as the Airbus, that. Yeah, because the 737 I think doesn't.
No, that's right, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to release the park brake, assuming they've called me, which I have to do my controls. There we go. And we're going to go backwards, wish us luck. So where are we going on holiday? Would you start engines during the pushback? Any reason not to?
You can do, yeah. There's a temperature limit. If it's cold, then you can't start them both at the same time.
Okay.
But as long as it's not 5 degrees, I think the number is. Which obviously it's not today. So yeah, you can start both at the same time.
You can start both while pushing back at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
It's not too cold.
And the tug driver's happy.
And the tug driver's happy. That's amazing. Yeah. Right, well, I'm going to see if I can get this nose to go the right way. No, I knew that'd happen. Other way, please. There we go. I'll jump into our wing view. Lucky, lucky passengers. So we're going to start both engines then. Let's take advantage of the fact that we're in such an impressive machine. How do the engines start? Are they started with APU bleed air, or are they started electronically?
It's an electronic drive again. Yeah, there's nothing to do with air at all.
Amazing.
You're here in the aircraft. The air cools down, and you don't get as much flow because of the drive on the APU. But yeah, no, it's electronic started.
That's not a bad pushback, is it? That could have gone worse. Right, so I'm going to set the parking brake now. I'm going to say goodbye to the tug. And in the flight then. So we think the conditions are good for a 2-engine start, so I want to do that. Let's give it a go.
So it's not too hot either. It's 40 degrees for but yeah, we're in the window anyway.
It's 24 degrees. Okay, good. So there are limits, but it's all good for us today.
Generally, yes. So yeah, you'd go up to the overhead panel there.
Yep.
And both of those can go to start.
Just put both to start up here.
Yeah, click both to start.
Start.
And then down to the fuel cutoff.
Yeah.
And both of those to run.
Straight away? No, not waiting for anything?
I haven't got to look at anything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Then you don't have to watch it. If it doesn't like it, you get bleep, 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 engine auto start. But otherwise, you just watch it do its thing.
It just does its stuff. Look at that.
And when it's happy, it'll stay running. And then the start switches will click back to normal.
Amazing. There they go. So the Airbus is very good FADEC as well. It does start itself, but we do have to pace. It can occasionally fail to start, but it is fully monitored. But you certainly can't do 2 at once. There's no way. Up they go. So that is convenient, isn't it?
Yes, save some time.
I think thrust levers are idle. Yeah. How long does the start take for 2 engines? Is it slower to do 2, or is it the same?
No, I think it's pretty much the same actually. Yes, because there's no air issues, obviously. So
it's just electronics. Amazing.
So around this point, it would say running, but I think that might be.
It would say run on the screen, would it?
Yeah, above each engine, you have a little green message saying running, and then if you look up the overhead panel, see if they click back to normal.
They say normal.
Yeah, so they have. Yeah.
So it's all done.
So it's started, but the message hasn't come up.
Well, that takes the record for easiest engine start, especially that I really didn't realize you could just put those to run as soon as you started the engine, because on all the other Boeings you wait for that N2 or whatever.
Fuel things, yeah.
Very good. All right then, so that's done.
So looking up towards the electrical panel.
Yep.
You check those generator lights are off, the ones that are orange, which they are.
Yeah.
And then you turn the APU off.
Okay, off.
Yeah. That's it. Then just cools itself down. You turn the engine anti-ice on at this point if you were taxiing in snow or anything.
So you wouldn't leave it in auto, you would turn it on.
Yeah, because it doesn't work on the ground.
If you need it. Icing conditions?
Yeah, so yeah, on the ground with snow and visible moisture below 10 degrees and things like that.
So exactly the same as the Airbus then. Standard airline icing conditions then. Okay, great.
Down to the flaps.
Yep.
Selected flaps at this point. To 5.
Let me see. Oh, it's too bright. That looks like 5 to me.
Look on the ICAS, it'll tell you what it's going to.
There it is, 5.
And it's green when it likes it. It should be.
The number should go green, should it?
Yeah, that magenta thing should go green. So you've got what you want.
Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to do that. Interesting.
Moving off. Then you just press the engine button there next to the ICAS. Just to tidy things up a bit. So there's a little ENG, again, I don't know if that'll work.
Where's that?
So the top screen there, you've got the ICAS switch, just below the bottom left of that.
Engine, yeah. No.
No, so that would tidy up that screen. And then a recall would
just get rid of all these numbers.
Gets rid of the everything below oil pressure there, temperature and everything like that.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
When I've got it on this side, it seems to work.
Yeah,
I thought
so
it might.
And you check the recall at this point.
Recall, inoperative, but there we go. Okay.
Working. And then once the ground guys are walked away, you've test your controls. You do a full-on free check.
Can't possibly do that while taxiing in a Boeing. Okay, where am I looking for my rudder pedals? I get really
so the rudder pedals, yeah. So if you look at the tiller, I don't know if it's pretty not applicable to flight sim, but that button in the middle, that disconnects it from the nose wheel. Okay. So you can do a rudder check here.
Yep.
Which means you can move the pedals for left and for right without wobbling the nose wheel around.
That's exactly like the Airbus then. Yeah. Where am I looking though? How do I know that I'm moving?
You're not. You just move them around, and again, if it doesn't like it, it will tell you.
You're joking. There's no.
No, you don't have to look at the screen. I mean, you can do. Yeah, if you press flight control, you can look at it. You're so inclined. You don't have to.
But you don't have to, because it's just you're just running it through its motions.
Yeah, and it'll tell you if it doesn't like it. There's a problem.
Isn't that amazing? I had no idea. Hold on, I'm gonna do the passenger view for that. There we go. Look at that. Great. All right then. So yeah, we shouldn't have done that. We should do this properly. That's why I've got you here, not to ignore you. All right. So we just run the flight controls and
yeah, that's it. And then you do a before taxi checklist at this point.
They all seem fine. Rudder's fine, and then we do a before taxi checklist. Well, I highly doubt my checklist is going to be any better. This after start, APU gen off. Taxi clearance we need to get. Flaps set for takeoff. Trim tabs set for takeoff. Flight directors are on. Nav source. Nav or FMS, it says. Is that a thing? Or
again, yeah, it's the FMS.
It's going to be FMS. Auto brakes, RTO we've got. Taxi lights on. Taxi brakes, flight controls. Okay, so let's pretend we got taxi clearance. So where am I going to turn off lights?
Yeah, there's a taxi light, and then turn off lights are good at night time when you're going around. Yeah, like I say, you've got to overshoot corners and things quite a lot, so it does light it up either side of the nose, basically.
Yeah, we use the turn off on the Airbus all the time as well. It's just taxiing around.
Yeah, it's just quite handy.
Because the taxi light's always pointing straight ahead, isn't it? It's not attached to the nose wheel like on some airplanes.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, landing lights can stay off. Ready to go then, do you think?
Yeah, that's it.
All right then. Okay, so we're just going to taxi, so I'm going to release the parking brake. There it goes. Would it move under its own power?
An 8, if it's light, might do, but generally it needs a little push.
So it's not moving, so that's representative then. There it goes. Can you hear the engines from the flight deck spooling up and down, or is it purely just...
You can, yes. No, you can hear them. But yeah, the screen is generally the easiest way. How good this HUD is...
I doubt it's probably not quite like your one.
Really, in the aircraft it has acceleration displays and things like that, and it shows you if you're going faster or slower, so you can tell it if you're slowing down as you go around a corner and things like that.
Oh, clever. Yeah. No, we're not going to... None of those.
I think this HUD
is just a PFD sort of put into green lines. It does have a ground speed on it. So, differential thrust or anything like that, or not?
No,
really,
no, not really. Take it slow. 7 to 9 knots, something like that, around a corner is good.
Okay, so below 10, definitely below 10 then.
Below 10, certainly for a corner, yeah.
Yeah. Straight line speed, what would you normally get up to?
No more than 15, really.
Really?
Yeah, it's a small aircraft thing, taxiing fast.
Yeah, we drive around at 30 knots, no problem.
Yeah.
And then we have to get stuck behind something like this, crawling around. So, there we go. So, I had to sort of go past that corner a bit. I assume
yeah, so we're at a 10, which is the longest version.
Yeah.
So the idea is to keep the main gear between the line.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, looking at in a 10, you want the line, certainly for a 90-degree turn, you want the yellow line towards the back end of that side window before you start turning.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
so I'd probably turn it a little bit early there.
An 8 would be certainly the forward third of the window. 9's somewhere in the middle.
Goodness me. You've got all your little tricks.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's quite a long way to the main wheels, so
yeah, it's a big.
You'd be quite aware of not sticking it in the grass.
So driving it along in a straight line, is any trick to lining up that centre line for the nose wheel?
In real life, just sit on it.
Just put yourself on it.
Yeah. Whether that work in this or not.
So in the Airbus, you run that line between the screens, but it looks like it might not work in this.
Yeah.
The screens are too big. Okay. I think the wipers actually work, but anything else we might do while taxiing?
No, you'd check your performance figures. You maybe turn the weather radar on at this point if you wanted it.
How would we do that?
So you can see on the top you got weather, traffic, and terrain.
Yep.
So if you press weather, it'll put them on both screens.
Aha.
And then if you press terrain, it does terrain on both. And then, running into the grass, you can press terrain and then go on the menu on the ND, and then select weather on that one, and you can have weather and terrain on separate screens.
Oh, I see.
There you go. So
goodness me, still can't get that VSD to work.
No. Shame, because that is good, the VSD.
Yeah, maybe it's coming. Oh, someone's. Yeah, that's a flight sim thing. But don't worry, I have a lot of practice of driving around in Flight Simulator, looking down like this, trying to taxi. We've done it a lot on the channel. Okay, so
let's turn the TCAS on at this point, probably. We'll taxi out somewhere.
Yeah, let's get
so
that
down. Yeah, to 2.
Okay. Let's go to yoke again. So pretty calm taxiing for a long haul airplane.
There's not a lot to do. Yeah, then a bit of a sweep up, and then before takeoff checklist at some point.
So my before takeoff checklist says takeoff clearance, taxi lights off, landing lights on, strobes on, transponder TRA, and that's it. What would you expect to do?
That would be more like it. A lot of it's validating everything you've already done. So you've already done all the performance, so it's making sure that that's still applicable. That the weights and everything.
Let's see. So we've got runway turn off lights and taxi lights. Do you turn those off, or can we leave those on and just turn on the landing lights as well?
When you're lining up, I think it's not too prescribed.
No.
In a good Boeing sense, you can turn on whatever lights you like. Obviously, landing when you're on the runway, but
yeah, that's what I assumed. That you just have to make sure those lights are on.
As long as those ones are on, you can maybe turn the taxi light off and leave the runway turn off lights on. But
that runway doesn't look so long now. When I say it like this, and there's an airplane this big.
With a full D rate.
Yeah, so maybe we'll go full length, shall we? We'll just get this extra 200 meters if that's going to make a difference. Right, so here we are at the holding point, and we are pretty much ready to go. So we're going to line up and take off. So what do we do now, Steve?
So again, there's not a lot to actually. You maybe press cabin chime.
It doesn't work.
No, and then some lights.
Let's get those landing lights on. Okay, it's clear on the approach. There's no traffic out there. I think we might have to race a Simwings 320 over there, but aside from that, we're going to head over to the runway, and we're going to hope our performance worked, because we did a full D rate, but we're pretty light for a 787, so you'd hope so. Good. Anything else that you can think of?
No, not at this point. No, just lining yourself up in the right place. And
it's been a long time since I've been on holiday in a 787. I am very jealous of the whoever this passenger is sitting here. Okay. what I might do...
Good time to check your 90-degree lineup.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me record. Okay, so we're going to get this, you said, to the back of the window.
Towards the back, and then it's about there, yeah.
And I'm going to have to rev those engines. Come on, airplane. Come on.
So you need some sort of speed going into the turn.
Yeah, that was too slow. Dragging it around like nothing.
Or 3 go-arounds at Gatwick.
Don't think they'll be too impressed. Oh, but look at that. You were absolutely right. It took all that. We're only slightly past.
You have to go quite deep into it.
Yeah, that was further than I thought. I thought that was just a hopeless case. Look at that. Unbelievable. Okay, so we're ready to go, I think.
Yeah, so you stand the engines up a little bit, just check they're spooling up at the same rate.
Can we do a takeoff from rolling, or do we have to stop?
No, you can do.
You can do rolling. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we spool the engines up to?
About 20 per... Oh, you're on M1 there. Yeah, so...
I see. It's different between each.
Yeah,
so
different ones.
Probably just a bit, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's checking the...
I know it's 40
like that,
on the 7.3, so we'll go for something like
that. And then, yeah, press the toga buttons.
Let's hope that works.
In the usual Boeing place.
There?
Yeah, underneath there. That's it.
That's not worked. Why hasn't that worked? There they go.
Oh, yeah.
Success. Water thrust is in. Right. Forward pressure on the yoke a little bit?
A little bit to start with, yep. Look at the HUD. You want to keep the pointers all lined up effectively. So
okay.
Lost of things, but it's not complicated.
Yeah, I'm not looking at anything on the HUD, I can tell you that now. Yoke to neutral, I'm guessing.
Yeah, about this point, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're not moving very fast, are we?
Shout V1 at you at some point.
It did say it, yeah.
Then
rotate?
The other ones it won't, no, so rotate when you get there.
Let's do it then.
And then you might get a line on the HUD. No, you won't.
No,
so 10 degrees-ish initially.
Is that it? 10 degrees. It's nothing, is it?
And again, yeah, no, you should get a path vector coming up and some sort of guidance, but you don't. So yeah, maybe just down to the PFD to follow that.
Oh, they've gone to idle. That can't be good.
No, that's not good either.
Wake up. Put the nose down.
Dual engine failure.
Very much a work in progress. Positive climb, I suppose. Gear up.
Yeah.
Just about positive climb. There you go. They've come back to life a little bit.
So 1500 feet we set as our acceleration, so it'll start commanding speed increases. So you see we've got V2 set at the moment.
Yeah, well, it seems to have jumped to whatever speed I was at.
Yeah, so it jumps to a speed it likes.
Okay.
And then when you get to 1500 feet, it should so it's driven forwards. And then in normal times like this, say, as that speed goes past 5, is that?
There's a 5, yeah.
Yeah, so once it goes past that and accelerating, you can go to flap 1.
Flap 1.
And then same when you go past 1 to up.
Up. That's just like the Airbus then, so you're selecting the next stage above what you're actually at. Yeah,
you go there.
Get that nose up now. 4,000 feet we're going to reach pretty quickly. Would you change the mode or something at this point?
Not like you can do, yeah, depending how quickly you're climbing.
Let's put it in the autopilot.
Get to VS or autopilot, something like that, yeah.
How do I gauge it? Just click that. There we go.
Yep, so you get AP.
Oh, we've got 1,000 feet to go at 4,000 feet per minute, so it's going to it'll catch that quickly. So the gear is up, the flaps are up.
If you're doing engine anti-icing on takeoff, because of icing conditions, you go to auto at this point, but we're already in auto, so it's fine.
Great. Up and down it goes. And there's a level off. So we're in speed and have enough path. All seem reasonable.
Yep.
So in a second, look at that whizzing by. So that range is obviously a bit zoomed in. There we go. And round the turn we go. Right, so now we are going to climb up to, let's pretend air traffic control have cleared us up to our cruise. So I'm going to put in 39. Any problems? What was sort of initial cruise level? I imagine if you were heavier, you couldn't get.
No,
to
I mean if you're light, yeah, you probably could actually. Yeah, certainly.
Really?
Around that, yeah. Generally, if you're light, if you're this, like, you go straight up pretty much to 43 is the ceiling. So
43, goodness me. Yeah. Okay, so how would I go there? What would I press now?
So 39, then give the altitude button a push.
Altitude button a push.
So yeah, where you dialed it, yeah, give that a push. See what happens.
There it goes.
There you go. Yes. Oh, it's gone to idle for some reason. There you go.
Thrust ref, yeah. I'm not sure what's going on
speed.
my thrust. I put my throttles at home to full just in case it drops out and does that trick again. So I didn't know that. I didn't know you could push that in. That's very Airbus-y.
So you get that push. Yeah, so if you give that push, it follows the path basically.
Just puts it back into VNAV.
Yeah, so you see the speed window closed there, which is the way of saying that there's no IS in there.
Yep.
If you give that button a push, you can select a speed as well. So it does its own kind of cost index speed otherwise.
And how would I get it back to managed if I press that? No?
So you push it, yeah, you push the button again, it will close it. Yeah.
There we go. And it's going to do 250 presumably until we get through 10,000 feet.
Yeah, you can have a look. You go down to the CDU.
Yeah.
Press VNAV.
VNAV?
250. So yeah, 250. Then it's going to go to 310. Yeah.
Nice.
If you go next page on that as well, while you're at it, it will tell you what. No, it hasn't any of that. Yeah, so normally it has optimum levels and things like that. You can work out what to climb to.
Progress page isn't telling me much either. So the optimum levels would be in the VNAV.
VNAV cruise tells you most of what you want to know in a flight.
VNAV cruise gives you all that.
To at optimum, max recommended, all of those. Yeah.
Right.
So with the winds and things like that, it works out.
Yeah.
Which level's best to be at the time.
Nice, excellent. Okay, so we're on VNAV. My heading bug's pointing behind me, so I've got to sit here for 12 hours.
Centering your heading bug.
Centering the heading bug. Are you serious? Is that really what you have to do?
Yeah. Which is great fun when you're flying over the Arctic and it's changing every 30 seconds.
Yeah, because the magnetic would be swapping around. Look, I'm going to have to change it in a second. Let's just. Do you ever do this? Do you ever just put it onto the next one?
Just leave it there.
Just set it to the next leg. Okay, there we go. Right, I'm going to zoom out on that range. There's 10,000 feet. It's acceleration to 310 as we thought. Lights off, I guess?
Yeah, SD lights here. Passenger signs to auto, probably.
Do any of these lights stick out into the airflow?
No.
No, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter if they're on or off.
Any other thing on or off? No,
okay, great.
Probably the logo would go off at that point as well.
It's not automatic?
No.
Oh, dear.
No, you got to have something to do, haven't you?
Yeah. Sit there and amuse yourself wondering whether the other aircraft who've been in the air with you for 12 hours are looking at your logo. And off we go. Can you see the wings from the flight deck?
No.
Not at all.
If you really stretch, you might. No, I think even there to push. No, yeah, you can't.
Yeah, that's funny. That's true on all of the 7.8s, is it?
I think so. Yeah.
It's so far back, the wingtip, isn't it?
Yeah, and the windows. Yeah, it's so swept. Everything else is.
Yeah.
Crane quite far to find.
It is an incredible sweep, isn't it? It really. Yeah. That wingtip goes so far back. Look at that water. Don't need to go to the Caribbean. Stay in South UK. Right. Good. So we would obviously do a checklist of some variety. Yeah.
So still on Q&H, shall we?
Well done. Yeah. So would it remind us?
It will when you go through transition altitude, actually. Yeah.
So the real airplane would. This one hasn't bothered.
Yeah.
So press standards. Very good. 390 is there. Next is going to turn. Yeah. All looking good. Auto brake automatically went to off. Is that correct?
Yeah, it goes to off when the weight on wheels recognises you in the air.
Good. Off. So we don't need to do that. Gear. Do we need to turn the gear off?
No.
Good.
No. So the doors, the gear doors open automatically as well once you get airborne and weight on wheels. So the auto brake goes to off, and then the gear doors start opening.
You're joking?
Before you even touch the gear. Yeah.
Really?
So that they're kind of done half of their job by the time you go to up.
So when we took off then, and the gear was late for us, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the doors would have opened.
And they're open.
But they're shut. If you've not done anything after 30 seconds, they close again.
Right, yeah. So that's interesting because there's extra drag, isn't there, from those gear doors when they're open, so it's funny that they...
Yeah, so it just kind of knows that in 99% of cases you're going to put the gear up straight away anyway, so it preempts it.
How interesting. Very good. It's full of little features. I'll have to see in the replay if that worked or not. I'm going to test that out now.
See if it does.
I want to see if it does it. Very good. I mean, this is. I'm pretty impressed. What do you think of this mod so far?
It's pretty good actually. Yeah. I say the 7.8's got so many little nuances and tidbits, and
Well,
I'd say every switch has sensors. So
yeah, so you're
it's
talking
done
about
well.
the electronic checklist. So that's what's missing. That would be a great feature we'd like to see. I
Yeah, it'd be
suppose.
lovely.
And that senses. So do you have to go through each line in the checklist yourself, or do you?
No, so
Go
the
on.
after takeoff checklist, for example,
Yeah.
would have things like landing gear, flaps, and some sort of Q&H or standard set.
Yeah.
But it would recognise you've done all 3 of those. So it would just say after takeoff checklist complete.
It would just say that, and you wouldn't know.
It says yes. You don't anything that's green. Yeah, so it clicks through it on its own, and you don't have to recognise when they're done.
Very good. Yeah, very good. And so those switches are all. Every switch is monitored basically.
Pretty much,
the
yeah.
checklist. Yeah.
Every certainly, yeah. And within sort of emergency situations and things, if it says wait 2 minutes, it's got its own clock and things.
So the Airbus does a little bit of that. It can the
Yeah.
ECAM can do. It has a memo, not a checklist. So it has checklists for emergencies. It will guide you through what to do just using the screens.
Yeah.
But it does have sort of a memo just for takeoff and landing. That's all it's got though. So you just check that as green, but we still have to do a checklist. So do you have a paper checklist like we do, or do you?
No,
just
I mean there is a backup. There's a QH that's there for emergency situation. It's got a paper checklist in it, but you never use it. It's all electronic.
Really, that's fantastic. Yeah, very good. Right, things to do now then. So we're assuming our checklist was all good. We just
That's basically it. Yeah, a lot of it now is contingency planning. It's, it's looking at your weights and things like that, and seeing what's around you. If you're going over the Atlantic, you'd get clearance and things like that for crossings.
Right. Yeah.
When going this way, it's contingencies, looking at Europe and continue your climb. Look at your next step of climb. Then.
I suppose you're slightly limited in which airports you can go to, being an aircraft of this size.
Especially if you take off quite heavy. You can take off at 240 tons.
Yep.
But you can only land at 180, 190 tons.
Wow.
So you've got to burn 50 tons of fuel, so it could be hours and hours.
Yeah. Before
you can actually land at max landing weight.
That's interesting. That's a big difference, isn't it?
So a lot of it is contingency planning and working out, where can I go if I really needed to.
It's amazing.
And how much fuel you'd have to get rid of things.
Can you land above max landing weight in an absolute emergency? Is it allowed?
Yeah, the general thinking is if you can take off from the runway, you can land back on that same runway.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it'd have to be quite a situation for you to want to do it, really.
Yeah, you ideally you'd get out over the sea and dump that fuel if you needed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's it. Okay. Sit back and look out the window.
Nice. Right, so we're now in the cruise, 39,000 feet, heading south to Ibiza, and Steve is going to show us how we can go direct, and we'll sort of try and get to Ibiza as fast as we can for our lucky passengers. So there's our route. So what should I do?
Yeah, so the most obvious way, the normal way of doing it is to go through your legs page, and picking the point you want to go to.
Let me clear out. So let's say we want to go to Vanad.
Yeah, so sort of standard Boeing thing, really click on that. Vanad, and then bring it to the top of the page. Up there, and then execute.
Which button do you normally use? This one or this one? Does it matter?
No, you can do either. The quickest thing is to press the hard button, but
hold on there, execute, and there it goes.
So that would normally wipe out all the points in the middle and go direct to where you're going. But you can do a beam points.
So let me. It is going to Vanad. Yeah, it's worked. I think.
It's going there.
I think I've displayed too much junk on the screen. Let's get rid of some of the other points.
Points and things. Yeah.
And then zoom in. There it is. Yeah. So Vanad is the next point in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's have airport traffic. Still can't get VSD. Not sure what I'm doing wrong with that. There we go. So great. So what would be another way?
So you can do. So try another one. You could do one further down, and then see if you can get a beam. So maybe go next page.
Next page.
Grab a point down there somewhere.
Oh. Let me move the camera. So let's check Amboise.
Yes, that'll be the next one anyway. It's tried like Balan or something like that.
Okay, Balan. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, Baden, yeah.
And then to the top.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. So normally you can get a beam points if you wanted to. You get some options on the slide.
Yeah.
To leave the other points back in there still.
Right.
You can't do that. You can also bring the cursor up to the screen. So once you're doing this, you go up to the ND on the left there with the cursor.
How would you do that? Just drag it off the top of the screen?
No, so you have to use below the cursor control there. You see your EFB left, right, lower.
Okay.
Press left. But yeah, this is an option. Yeah.
And what does this cursor control do?
So that, if you give that, is that going to work? That clicks through the point that you're. Yeah, no, that's not working either. That clicks through the points that you're using at the moment with the waypoints. You can use that cursor control, so you haven't got to use the touchpad at all.
So if I highlighted Baden with the cursor, like that, and I left my cursor there, I could then just spin this dial around.
Spin that, and it would scroll through the next one.
Right.
So it can be a quick way of doing it. And then the middle button's the same sort of thing as pressing the side buttons on the cursor control.
Right. So it's
just
little
side buttons. That's how you click through the checklist and things like that.
But you could do that with this little button up here.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So again, that's another way of doing it.
Yeah. How funny.
So if you could move that cursor control up to the ND, you'd be able to pick waypoints that are on there. So you could click on the waypoint you wanted to go to, or you could select a random point in space. If you wanted to hold or navigate around some weather, it's good for that. So if you've got the weather on, you can see some weather ahead of you. You can negotiate with air traffic. 50-mile window out to your left.
Wow. To
navigate around it, and you can click your way around the weather that you don't like.
Very clever.
Design your own route.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, very good. Fortunately today, not even a cloud.
Severe cavalcade.
Severe cavalcade. Look at that. Unbelievable. Oh, there's some little wisps over there ruining their day. Great. Okay. So let's put the direct to further along the route, and let's talk about the arrival. Okay, so we are back now. We are getting near to our top of descent. It's coming up. We're just north of Barcelona, fairly shortly heading down in towards Ibiza. And we are going to be taken through by Steve on how we're going to set up the arrival. I might do a direct Barcelona just to stop this airplane. This is just because of the way I've moved the airplane here. So we'll do another direct, which we've already seen. Plonk that in there, executes, and there we go, LNAV. Okay, so what we're going to do then is set up for the arrival and look at what sort of things we do in the descent. So over to you, Steve. What should I do now?
So starting point in the CDU, depart arrive.
Depart arrive.
And then arrival.
Arrival, yeah. So all so far, so Boeing.
Yeah. So normally you'd have a rub. Oh no, the easiest thing to do is pick the approach first. Then in the real aircraft, they should filter out some of the stars. I don't know if I'll do that on this.
Oh, it did. I think it did.
Did it? Yeah, there you go.
We'll go by Corda 3 Victor today. Yep, that's what I'm expecting.
And then transition if you're going to do that as well.
So the transitions. Let me have a look. This is a thing. Would you ever have to fill in the transitions yourself, or do you normally leave it automatic?
Yeah, you can do. So it depends where you're going. The transition, even if you're not planning on doing it, it tidies up the route and works out the VNAV a bit more for you. So it is good to have sometimes if you.
Well, let me show the viewers. So for the viewers watching at home, this is what we're going to do. Corda 3 Victor. We're going to come from Corda down and over here, and now I'm going to put in the transition of Demev because the Demev point is where I want to fly from. If I put in the IBA transition, it will take me through the overhead and fly a full procedural ILS, I'm guessing. Is that right, Steve? Would you expect that?
Yeah, I think that sounds right, yeah, if that's the procedure you're doing.
The Airbus is the same. The real aircraft, it always chooses the right one automatically. You rarely have to change it, but in simulators it never does. Maybe it's just a database thing. Right, so we'll put Demev in, and then just for viewers at home, there's the ILS chart, so we go Demev and down. Otherwise, if I put in the IBA, it will try and fly this whole arc and all of that. Good. So yeah, Demev, if we're going to do that then. There we go. And then that's a point, hit execute. See, it's funny, it doesn't light up there, but it does here. It's probably just a bug. So there we go. Now if I go to legs. Oh. So Corda. It should go Corda and then IB810 if we look at the chart. Oh yeah. So, so if you that's take correct. That and bring it up. So could I click that point, and then if you just click that and bring it up to the discontinuity. There we go. Execute. Yeah, like that. Done. So Corda, IB810, Let me bring up the chart again, actually. And then we're going to go from IB810 to Negra. And then Olpam to Tots. Yep, it's all there. All looks good. And we saw earlier, oh, there's Demev, and then there's a gap. Because from Demev, we want to go to Tivom.
Tivom, yeah, that's correct, isn't it?
So we do the same again?
Yeah, so same thing. Click it and bring it up.
Oh, no, what have I done? Right, Tivom, in, and execute.
Yep.
So, and now if I go to plan.
Your plan, you can click, step through it sometimes. Can you do that?
There it is. That all looks good. Around the ILS. Brilliant. Okay.
So on the CDU, this is where the VSD comes into its own. It shows you what it's planning to do in the descent. But on the legs page there, so you see on the left it's got the waypoints. On the right it has the speeds and altitudes as planning.
Yeah.
I think if you have previous page...
These are restrictions, and then on the right it should show what it's going to do. Is that...
Yeah, so if you have previous page as well, I think it should... in a real aircraft, if you've got big lettering, that's a hard restriction that it's going to try and meet. So that's what all of those are.
Right.
But it has smaller writing for what it's planning, basically. So it will plan a descent. So that border point would actually be something like 130 or something like that, because that's where it's planning to be in the descent.
That'd be written on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that'd be written on the right.
Is there anything... For the speed. So if anyone's watching at home, it's possible that I haven't set this up properly. When I set up this mod, because it's possible that it'd be possible to do this, so I can only apologise if that is the case. I don't know what that is. I won't press anything in there. Yeah, okay, fine. So that would be all in the legs page. So the right hand side should show us where it thinks will be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the quarter point, that wouldn't really be, you wouldn't be at 390 there, but
no.
Yeah, so it would work out where it thinks it'll be at that point.
So it's put, there you go, it's moved the top of descent back. So it does have a top of descent.
Oh, okay,
so it's got some sort
yeah.
of VNAV profile in it. It's just not displaying it.
It's just not showing it. Again, yeah, the VSD is good because it shows you what you're going to do at what points.
You and this VSD, eh?
Oh, I tell you,
that's the best thing ever. There you go, data shows us those restrictions.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
So again, speed, it does its own thing, the VNAV.
Yeah.
So it will slow itself down.
Oh, sorry. So I've been talking nonsense then. So this is showing us the right hand side should be the speed it's trying to fly.
The right hand side's the speed.
Oh, I see.
It should have. It's showing you all the hard restrictions there, but it should also be showing you in small writing what it will be planning to do.
On the left of the slash, it would show you both.
Yeah, planned altitudes and
a bit like
so
that.
Left of the slash is planned altitudes, and on the right is planned speeds. Yeah,
right.
The A and their restrictions, that's 3,000 above, 7,000 below.
So it would show you a whole long line of text like that.
Yeah,
to show you the restriction
exactly.
on what it thinks. Okay, I'm with you now. Right, and then on the right it would show you the speeds.
But speed is planned to do, unless there's a hard restriction. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Descent page again would have
So for this one, sorry for the viewers, I've gone. So that was our legs page. We're looking for restrictions. Then I've gone to VNAV, and then next page to descent. And this is missing
and again
a few
that
things.
would be descent speeds and things like that.
Okay, descent now. What's that going to do?
That would just get it going. If you had something set, if air traffic said descend when ready, whatever else, and you put something into the MCP window, and then you press descend now and execute, it would start off down that path.
Okay.
It sort of forces. So if air traffic said descend when ready to whatever it would be, 5,000 feet, then and you just put that in a window and did nothing at all, it would descend when it wants to on its own path.
Right.
But you could either press descend now or push that altitude button in again that we saw on the climb out.
And force it down.
To force it down, it would go down to VNAV speed.
Okay. Because Boeing's strange, aren't they? When I put a lower flight level in, it's going to... If I put a lower flight level in here and we fly through that top of descent, it will just start down, won't it?
It'll start down towards it, yeah.
Yeah. In the Airbus, it won't. You still have to force it. You have to tell it, I definitely want to go now. But yeah.
If you went past that point without having anything in the window, it would hold you at that level, obviously.
As long as I haven't changed it.
Yeah.
But if I have changed it, so yeah.
It'll go to VNAV out and hold you there, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I suppose why not? Okay, so that is...
I think, within the constraints of that TDU, that's probably as much as you can do, really. I don't know if you.
Is that it? So we've done departure arrival. Any performance or anything like that we need to put in?
Yeah, so you do. You work out some performance. You press init ref.
Yeah.
That's what that does. No,
Approach.
it's not got that. So approach. There we go. So yeah, normally init ref takes you to where it thinks you want to be. So that would take you automatically to approach. But anyway, so you press approach. You'd work out performance on the EFB. But generally, flap 25, brake 3 is a good start.
Do you think that's going to work on a 2,800 metre runway?
Maybe, how heavy are we? 160? Yeah, should do it, I think. Yeah, you can get on that.
Well, as long as you think it should work, though.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So 25 is the standard sort of landing flap, is it?
That's a good starting point, yeah. Flap 30. There's not a lot in it, other than slower.
Really, is there?
No, in real life, you normally get 5 knots slower between the two.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's more of a low approach speed rather than actual stopping distance.
Okay, and flaps 20, any reason for that?
No, that's only non-normals.
Okay.
No, it's only engine failures and things like that. You'd go 20. So either 25 or 30, and then so click it, and then to flap speed, and then you should see on the PFD that should present it. No, it doesn't. But yeah, on the bottom left, that should have.
Yeah, the 7.3 does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's over there exactly. And then you just select brake 3 or whatever it might be for the auto brake.
I'm gonna have to do that with my little switch. You can have 2 or 4.
4 then.
4, yeah. Right, okay. So we'll have 4, good. We put in the 25, 147, okay.
Yeah. That's about it. You set a minimum. A navrad.
Where would I set the minimum?
Sorry, yeah. While you're on there, do navrad.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the ILS there.
Oh, it's done it. Great. Do I need to do anything to that? I'll leave it.
No, that's it. And then on the PFD.
What if I wanted to put a VOR? So like, there's the Ibiza has a VOR. So can I tune that?
Yeah, you can type in either the you can type in the identifier, the code as well if you want.
Oh, let's try that.
Yeah, if that'll work on this. But
IBA. No. Would you just plonk that in there? Would you?
Yeah, you type in, and if there's multiple ones,
give the options.
Give the option, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens as we get closer. See if that works. Okay, so yeah, and we can tune in NDVs if we wanted, put it in the course if we wanted. Great.
Yeah. That is one thing actually. Yeah, 10 hasn't got NDVs on it, so this is slightly different in that sense.
Oh, does it not?
Phasing them out.
Yeah, they're not much.
Moving with the times.
Not used much these days, are they? Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So on the top, just slightly top and left of where you are, you set the barrow minima or the radio minima.
Up here.
Yep. So you see there it's on radio. You can switch that over to barrow.
So on my chart, we are going to go from barrow. The barrow is what you normally use. Radio for low vis. Is that same?
Yeah, barrow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, barrow for Cat 1 and radio for anything else really.
Yeah, Airbus is the same. All right, so barrow, and then what category are we? So I'm looking at the minima here on the chart. I've got ILS, Cat C, and Cat D. So Airbus being a Cat C.
Yeah, it's Cat D.
Is this Cat D?
Cat D, yeah.
I wonder why, because those approach. I suppose those approach speeds is pretty high, isn't it? 140 plus. Because the 380 isn't the 380 not even a Cat D because of its low approach speeds.
UF was like high, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Was it not? I don't know actually. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I think there's some strange airplanes fitting into different categories.
Yeah.
I know that you can get 321s certified up to such a high landing weight that they'll be Cat D because of their ridiculous approach speeds. But anyway, there we go. So Cat D 270 it is. That's what we're taking from there. So that's in. Great. Good. So we got minima, got a bit of performance, got the arrival and the flight plan all checked.
Yep. So you would check. So I think you check a recall, but that's not going to work here. For the approach speeds, you'd probably set your QNH. You could do that.
Oh, well, I
so
don't know what it is yet.
So yeah, if you got standard, so but yeah, you could set that.
So what would you do? Just press it or just twist it?
No. So if you twist it.
Yeah. It's not working.
No, sure. Yeah, so that would sit underneath the standard in white.
Oh, that's clever.
And then when you're cleared to out, you press standard and then it flips over.
Yeah, very nice. Okay.
That's about it.
Great. All right then. So, well, let's jump forward to the top of the descent.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a little bit of time before our top of descent. It's showing up here. Is there a way to see the top of descent distance coming in until it comes
Yeah,
up?
on the VNAV descent page.
Should show up here.
Next page there would show up. Yeah, ED at there.
Ah, I see. Okay,
And
so it's not working.
just time of distance. Yep.
But we can see it. It's coming. So let's briefly talk about some of these systems pages then. So if I press systems up here, I get them on my MFD. So Steve, what am I looking at here?
Yeah, top there you've got hydraulic quantities and pressures.
Okay.
And again, when you do your initial setup on the ground, again, you're checking those aren't amber.
Yep.
That's all you have to know, really.
That's what it. High pressure,
APU's
actually. It's funny that Airbus is 3,000 psi. Most are. So that's quite a high pressure system, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The APU, which you can start in flight. There's no limit to it or anything for altitudes. So
excellent. Yeah.
If you want to start there now, you could.
Just start it up. Would you ever do that, or just after landing?
Yeah, no, you never need it unless you had a technical problem.
Yep.
But you have to check it once in a while for ETOPS certification.
Just what are you checking?
Just check that it turns on at 43,000 feet or something.
Oh, really? So if you're flying an ETOPS flight, is that every flight?
Not every time. No, it's just sort of once a month or so.
Right. Okay. Just make sure it does work. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's APU. So what is oxygen's? That's for crew then, or is that passengers?
Yeah, so that's crew. Just the crew oxygen on the flight deck there.
2,000. Not much. Not much. And then
4 more there. 4 crew members.
So is that 2,000 for everybody?
Yeah, total. Yeah.
Okay. Liquid cooling. What's that?
Yeah, that's for the. So it's a very electric aeroplane, the 787.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cools down the electric systems, the large motor power distribution, which can overheat, and if that doesn't cool the electrics down, then you can end up in all sorts of problems.
Okay.
So it's something to keep an eye on, but it'll tell you if there's a problem.
It'll go amber if it's a problem. Standard.
Yeah, it'll tell you pretty quickly if the electrics aren't cooling down.
This is just sort of random information they couldn't fit elsewhere, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. Status messages, sort of things that aren't worthy enough to go on the ICAS.
Okay.
But things that need to be looked at before the next flight.
Right.
People do look at the status message in flight, but you don't actually need to.
No. Oh, I see. So this is just
sort of
in the background.
Things that aren't deemed interesting enough to tell you about in the flight,
like
ICAS messages, but just things that the maintenance might want to know about.
Excellent. Right. Okay. Yeah. Airbus has a status page as well, but it's valid in flight, but it has a little section for after the flight as well. So that's quite funny.
Okay, yeah.
I think it might hide it as well. Actually, I don't think you can see it in flight. I think it just gets rid of it. Anyway, okay, great. Because if you put it there, pilots are going to go and check it.
Well, exactly, yeah.
No matter how they tell you don't need to, I bet everyone's going to.
Yeah, people will.
Great. Okay, so next is
It's not.
hydraulics.
Hydraulics. So yeah, there's primary demand pumps you see there, and then if you look up in the overhead panel, there's a couple of extra pumps for backups and things like that. So
so primary engine pumps.
Yeah, so there's primary engines that are on all the time, but then there's a centre ones, but I think only one of those runs at a time. Right. So the auto, it has its own logic depending upon which ones it wants to use.
Right.
And the electric, left and right of those are auto and off and on as well.
And these, what are demand pumps? They just engage if there's low pressure, do they?
Yeah, if it needs, I think for things like higher pressure required.
So if we look down here, we've got the engine pumps running. You've got 3 hydraulic systems. Which
that's right, yeah.
Actually, they're showing slightly
so you can see, so although C1 and C2 are both in auto, only one of them running.
Only C1's on, yeah.
Yeah, it decides. I think it's days of the week or something. It decides which one's going to run. Yeah,
that's nice of them to model it. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with this mod. You've got to remember that the default 787 that comes in Microsoft Flight Simulator is almost unflyable. Sometimes it wouldn't even turn on. So it's they've done amazing work to get it to this point. Just check our top of descent. It's coming not too far away. Good. Okay. So yeah. So we have those, and it even tells you where they feed.
Tells you what they're doing. Yeah. So if you lose certain systems, then you know what you're going to lose.
Luckily, flight control I see on all of them.
Yeah, it covers the whole lot.
That's very good.
That's nice.
It's funny that the center system seems to do landing gear, nose steering, flaps.
Yeah, it does the bulk of it, but then there's two. You've got C1 and C2 pumps. There's a lot of redundancy within that system as well.
We'll feed that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very good. Cool. Fuel page.
Yeah, again, not a lot to look at. If you wanted to press the balance, I don't know if that would work, but they're balanced anyway. But that gives you a nice little picture when they're balancing.
Oh no, doesn't seem to do much.
Yeah, it gives you a little picture what does that. But
so that could sort that out. Center tank's empty, so they would be fuel in there if we need it. And those pumps we would turn on if there was fuel in there.
Normally the big event of a flight is turning the centre pumps off about halfway through it.
Exciting stuff. Just turn that balance off. And then we've got the minimum fuel temperature and fuel temperature. So that would presumably show you what they reached in flight.
Yeah, that'll show you what the fuel is at the moment. If you're flying over Russia and things like that, you can set a minimum fuel temperature so you get alerted.
Oh, you set that. It's not showing you the lowest it reached. You tell it
exactly.
what you want.
Yeah, you tell it what you want to be.
How would you do that? You click on it, do you?
Yeah, within the FMC and the initial setup page.
Right. Clever stuff. Sadly, fuel temperature not working, it seems, in this model at the moment. Good, I think that's it. Air page, we've talked a little bit about it.
I don't know if that works again. If you look in the overhead panel, there's flight deck. So the flight deck has its own system, so the air is not recirculated at all in the flight deck. It comes straight in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's all fresh air, and you can individually adjust the temperature there. And then cabin has a master that'll adjust the master throughout the whole cabin. But then individual parts of the cabin can set their own temperatures as well.
That'll be done by the cabin crew.
Yeah, from the pages in the cabin.
So you set a master temperature, and then they can fiddle it slightly up and down.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Cabin occupants there, while we're on it, controls the humidity.
Okay.
So it alters the amount of humidity in the aircraft depending upon the number of cabin occupants.
Wow.
So if you've got a full aircraft, it will decide that the cabin needs to be less humid.
Yeah.
Because there's enough people in it already. So that's something you set before takeoff in the cabin.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. That's a great feature, isn't it? I mean, the air quality in the 787 is one of its highlights.
Makes a massive difference.
Yeah. All right, I think we missed our top of descent there. Which is the classic. So we'll stop talking about those systems for now. We'll pick another day to do those. So, start of descent. What do I do?
So put altitude in the window to start with.
So let's go down. Oh, my mouse is still upsetting me. Let's start off with 30,000 feet because we're late. So we'll just start down.
Is it gone? So normally it would go into VNAV out if we missed the top of descent, but it's not. So if you give that button a push.
So it should have just started down, you reckon?
It would have gone level and then VNAV out. When we missed the top of descent,
I see.
VNAV out.
VNAV out. So let's push it.
Now if you give it a push, you'll go to VNAV speed, hopefully.
VNAV speed. There it goes.
And then it'll go to idle eventually.
Would it tell you idle up here, or?
Yeah, so that speed should be going to thrust ref.
Right.
To start with, and then it will come back to idle if it wants to dive.
Still think that VSD.
See that green arc coming in? That's where you're going to level off.
The banana.
30,000 feet. Yes, it.
Nice.
There you go, idle.
Idle.
So,
oh yeah, very good. Yeah. So we're going down now, and the next waypoint. Oh, we've gone way past it. Next point 80x, so we can get out to 5,000 feet. So let's put that in.
Yep.
But this is good. You can show us what you sort of think.
It's the beauty of this VSD that I've mentioned once or twice.
Would
show you.
Yeah. Did you work on it? You didn't design it or something, did you?
Big fan of it. Yes, that would show you at the moment where you are in relation to your path vertically and where your next constraints are and things like that.
Okay. Well, I can tell you. we're probably about 10,000 feet above all of them. So, let me think. Yeah, how can I see? So what I would normally do in the Airbus now is I would look at my distance to the runway. Luckily, we're going to beam the airfield and back around. So 121 miles from 35,000 feet. Do you just use 3 degrees? So times your altitude by 3?
Can do. I mean, it's a slippery aircraft, so
really
4 times is normally closer.
Really? How interesting. Yeah. It's worse then.
Well, 3 works, but you've got the speed brakes well used.
The Airbus is 3. You do 3 times your altitude and then add sort of 10 to slow down, and then if there's any tailwind, you add to that. But in this, you say 4 times plus anything, or just 4 times?
No, I mean 4 times the conservative. 3's easy maths, but somewhere between the 2.
Okay. So can I see my track miles? So that's to the runway, 117 miles. So we're high to the runway, just about, aren't we? We need 90. We need about 105 miles. So sorry, no, we need 4 times that. Oh my goodness, I've never done times 4.
Do times 3 and then out of it.
You better do.
We're quite slow anyway.
You do the times 4.
We're only 0.76. We're not too fast.
What's a normal sort of descent speed?
8.4. 8.4
really?
going into 280 or something. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, going to 280. That's interesting. So you descend a lot faster at first, but then you come back to a normal
I mean,
speed.
you can convert at 300, 310, something like that, but yeah, it gets a bit.
Because even we can descend at sort of 7.8, but then if we're feeling sporty, we'll go from 7.8 to like 330.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a bit thirsty if you start doing that.
Right. Okay. let's set that QNH then. So hopefully if I just press B, remind me to set, I need to press B again later on, just to, it's just Flight Simulator, because yeah, that would just do it for us. So we're diving down now, we're high. So can I see the track miles? That's what I was going to ask you. How do I see that?
Yeah, progress.
Progress.
Miles. Progress page, yeah. So it's leveled off for some reason. Speed. If you give the button a push, it's go on speed path. Give that a push and it should keep it going down.
Yeah. Why did it level off there?
I don't know. That's probably a flight sim, isn't it, actually?
Okay.
Because I don't think we had 30,000 in ADX or anything, did we? So
no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
but it was the first altitude I set in the window when I first pressed it.
Yeah, whether I thought that.
So this number here, 105, this is track miles.
That's track miles to the runway, yeah.
Right, not the direct to the runway. Okay, because the progress page in the Airbus just gives you the direct to the runway, I see.
Right.
But we would use a fixed page to do that, would we, or something?
To do, yeah, so to get direct distance, yeah, that would be fixed.
Right. Good. So that shows me leveling off at 5,000 feet before we even get to the airfield. So actually,
so you're fine.
That seems fine. So is this realistic, this rate of descent for this speed, or is this a bit?
I think so. Yeah, no, it seems pretty close. It can descend pretty fast if you want it to.
But we're not using speed brakes or anything, so it feels quite a fast rate of descent to me.
Yeah, I mean it'll descend out of that. It's more getting it to slow down rather than go down.
Right. So because we started slow, it's all right.
Descent, yeah, doing 300 knot descent, it'll go down pretty quickly. But it's how you lose that 300 knots.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my next question then. We've got this, I mean I haven't looked at this at all, as you've seen. Would you, when you're setting like a new altitude in the window, where are you looking? Do you look down here or are you looking on the HUD?
Early descent, you're kind of sitting looking at the PFD and because you're looking at the PFD and the ND and the bigger picture, really.
Yeah, your favourite obvious thing.
Yeah. So it gives you, but then when you're closer in, certainly the pilot flying is going to sit closer into the HUD.
So the HUD's left out.
Look through that
pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, the whole flight. Yeah.
You just leave it there, you don't look at it after takeoff. You just go to look in here. The whole cruise.
No, because it's quite specifically set up for your seat position.
Okay.
With your seats back or whatever else.
So once you've reclined into your sleeping position or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. When your shoulder heater's going, you can't see through the HUD anyway.
You can't see. Oh, I see.
So when you've got to be sat quite upright, quite close to it to see through it.
Okay.
So certainly in the later stages of the descent, when you're kind of sitting closer in and all the rest of it, then that's when you'd use it more.
I see. Okay, let's get a bit of a wing view for our lucky passengers for that approach. There we go. Okay, so yeah, fine. I'll continue to ignore the HUD then. So good. So that shows us 5,000 feet at beam the airport, pretty much. What happens if I press center? Oh, okay. Just
center Boeing. Yeah.
And there's the runway. So we'll be low according to this if we level off.
Yeah.
No problems. Okay. What else would we need to do? So if we were high, but a speed brake, just like normal.
Yeah. So again, if you're descending a VNAV in the real aircraft, you go down a VNAV and it would meet the path, and then it would put some thrust on, and you'd follow that VNAV path all the way down.
Right. Okay. So does it normally do idle descents or thrust on descents?
It depends where you are. So when you're above, when we miss top of descent and descend fast, it's descending down to a point that it does an idle descent to meet that path that is determined.
Right.
But that path is worked out is based on various speed and altitude constraints on the way down.
So if there were no constraints, would it target an idle descent, I assume?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, do an idle descent all the way down.
But otherwise it would just fly the profile. Yeah. So
really it probably would have met the path by now and put some thrust on there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's curious, isn't it? It obviously has a path because it's gone to VNAV speed, and it's got it had that little top of descent marker, but it's not actually showing up. I think the heavy division Discord.
If you go to legs, is it trying to get us somewhere at a certain point? It's just got above. Yeah,
just above. Yeah, so this A means it's going to be for the feet or above.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there would be a B for below, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I think it was a big one. Yeah, so there it's going 7,000 below, 3,000 above.
Yep.
So it's getting you in that window.
Between 3 and 7 at IB913. Yeah. If I look at my chart, IB913 says 3,065 actually. So yeah, roughly, right? And 210 knot speed limit, so there should be a speed limit there as well. Which
it should be a /210, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Good. Well, there's the islands. So we're going to cruise in over and around and back in, and there's the runway. Oh, the airport's just there. I don't know if you've ever flown to Ibiza.
I don't think I have.
No. Well, you might do this year. It's
yeah.
the way things are going.
Has to go.
The strange aeroplanes flying around.
Going anywhere.
Lights, I'm guessing 10,000 feet like normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. So we've done our auto brake. Nothing to do with the gear. The gear won't suddenly lower the doors or something when it thinks we're getting near the airport with it or something. And we've done nothing. We were talking about this earlier. We've done nothing to the overhead panel. I'll turn the logo light on, I suppose. Without icing conditions, without fuel, we just don't have to fiddle with it.
Yeah, there's nothing to do really. Yeah, even you can see the icing's in auto, so you don't have to look at that.
Awesome. Well, we'll take that. Yeah, very straightforward. So I think, I mean, let's face it, you as well as me would be pretty upset if we expected to fly this whole arrival.
Yeah.
So
should we set up a shortcut?
I think we'll set up for a shortcut. So I think if we go, Osnook is at 3,000 feet and it's about 11 miles out. So I think if we, let's go IB 911 to Osnook. So I'll go legs. I'll take
other way around.
Other way around, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to go to next page, Osnook.
And then bring it up to the point below you want to keep.
Previous page. I've said IB 911, didn't I? Leading question.
Yes.
Yes, there it is. Oh, look, it even does it. It does the blue little...
That's what it looks like, yeah. And then,
so that's correct, is it? The blue light like that? That's exactly what the...
So that's what you want, that's what you're asking it to do, yeah.
And that works.
So you double check that, and then yeah.
The reason I'm so impressed is because the lateral navigation in Flight Simulator is been a bit of an issue for a lot of aeroplanes. So that's quite impressive that it's proving to be quite robust. I'm quite impressed with it. We've done a lot of fiddling and sort of zooming
so
about.
One gotcha with the VNAV is it'll slow itself down below your flap speed.
Oh, why has it done that?
It does that, yeah. It does it in the real aircraft as well.
Why?
So if you open the speed window, because it basically thinks you're going to keep an eye on it and stick the flaps out at a point.
So if I click on that,
a good point to do this is enables and then wind it up to your up speed. Yeah, so it's a bit of a gotcha actually that it'll descend and slow you down to a speed that's below you.
Down, I see.
Speed.
Ah, very good. And it
so,
did
at some point. Yeah. So at some point in the descent, you want to open that speed window up with it. Generally, VNAV's only used for the first half of the descent anyway, because it's a bit temperamental and it's not very flexible.
Really? How interesting. So Airbus will use it's called managed descent, but we use it the whole way down, no problem.
Yeah, they'll go to flight level change or VS or something like that.
Flight level change would just be a thrust idle.
Yes, it does. So the 7.3 it does basically idle or full whack, doesn't it? Whereas in the 7.8 it tries to get you to your altitude in 2 minutes, and if it can't do that, then it will do idle.
I see. So it will do gradual if you're near or within 2 minutes.
If you're only going 1 or 2,000 feet, then it'll, if say it's got 2,000 feet to go, so it'll do 1,000 feet a minute descent.
How interesting. Yeah. That is... Yeah, well, that's a lot better, isn't it? Because losing flight level change late on in the 7.3 or 7.5 and you just end up charging up and down. Yeah. And if VNAV's no good... So you'd be on flight level change or vertical speed by this point? Yeah,
probably, flight level change at this point, then VS in a little bit.
Well, let's do that then. So we're doing 250 knots flight level change. It's got idle thrust, which is great. So that's doing as we expected. Now, I'm not entirely convinced. Yeah, it kept saying, you'll be 5,000 a beam. It's not managing it because, I mean, I'm 11,000 feet here and I can see the airport there. So I know I'm not going to lose 6,000 feet in the next 10 miles. So I think this banana's a little bit off kilter.
He's doing his own thing with the speed as well, I think. So
yeah. So let's go to progress. So distance go 38 miles, and we need 40 miles, according to your maths.
Yeah, I mean, at this point we've slowed down. We're 250 knots now. I think 30 miles. Now we're back at 250 knots. I think
you think the profiles are right from here?
Yeah, I think.
When would you start putting flap out? Just when you need to, I suppose.
Yeah, more or less. Whenever you're looking to slow down, you probably want to be
get below those speeds.
Working backwards, you want to be at 180 knots from 10 miles.
180 to 10. Okay, so a little bit slower than
maybe 8 miles. You could get away with a bit of speed brake.
Yeah.
Probably 210, 220 as you on that base turn.
Oh, it's exactly the same. It's funny, isn't it? Exactly the same as the 320. and a 7.3 and a 7.5 and a 7.4. Aeroplanes, aren't they? All right, so there's 250 knots. We'll go through 10,000 feet. I'll put some lights on. Seatbelt signs we left on, so our unlucky passengers have just spent 14 hours or 18 hours or whatever sat there. Any of these lights come on now, or just the landing lights?
The strobes would be on, obviously, wouldn't they? But
okay.
yeah, I mean, you could turn the turn-off lights on if you wanted to.
Okay. I like the little standby compass there in green.
Never looked at.
Never looked at. No, no. Well, in the Airbus, it's hidden away. It's sort of behind that panel, and you have to pull it out. It's so it's like they don't even want you to think about it. Okay, so the ILS is starting to show up on my PFD. Oh, my HUD, sorry, and my PFD, which is good.
Yeah.
I noticed
it's probably identified as well, isn't it? Yeah, IBI.
Where's that written? Oh, up there. There we go.
It's above there, yeah. So it's done the identifiers.
And the DME.
Yeah, Airbus does that. Yeah.
Yeah, it
probably
does. Yeah.
Slow down at about this point.
You'd slow down.
Yeah, so you wind back to the up bug.
Wind up. Flap limiting speeds, are they obvious or written anywhere?
Yeah, they're written to the left there, below the bottom left of the PFD.
So the Airbus puts it on the PFD, it would show you little amber eyebrows.
Yeah, I generally, as long as you're at the bug speed
you should be
before you put the next one out. So you can do flap 1 now and then go to wind back to that one.
So let's go flaps 1 then, shall we? Would you recommend that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's flaps 1, they're travelling, and there's the red bar, and then I'll wind it back again.
Wind it back to the flap 1 speed. Yeah.
Could I?
Or whatever.
So that's what you'd normally do. You'd wind it to the next speed, then put the flap out, then slow down again. That's sort of the process.
Yeah. So yes, you never go below, never wind it below the bug speed for the flap you've got.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So you can't. So that's your minimum. So you could fly. Say air traffic said fly 220 knots. You'd have flap 1 and 220 knots, but you can't. You can't go any slower than that speed. But I think a general rule is to.
So if they said they want 200 knots, we'd have to go down to 5.
You have to go to flat 5, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, okay.
But yeah, a good way of doing it is just fly the bug.
Yeah. And what if I press this in? What happens?
So because you're not in VNAV now.
It won't work.
Yeah, it won't work.
So we can just go to manage speed at this point, and it will just go. It will automatically go to each of these bugs effectively.
Okay.
And then you put the next stage of flap out, and it just targets the next bug. It's quite clever.
Yeah, wasn't there. Yeah.
All right then. So should we go any slower or 215 here? Seems alright.
This is probably fine for this corner. Yeah.
This corner.
Let's turn the corner.
Yeah. Oh, well, luckily it's beautiful weather here as well. I noticed there's a bit of a... Oh, it's gone to a crosswind now. There was a bit of a tailwind in that descent, which didn't help. But that VNAV was nonsense because we finally reached 5,000 feet. I can hear it levelling off. On this leg, let me just check. Well, we want to go down to 3, which is the platform, so I'm just going to put 3 in the window. Is there a way to select hundreds of feet?
Yeah, so it's in the increments there.
Yeah.
It's just in 1,000, you can go to auto. And then it'll do hundreds there.
Clever. Again, I can't believe this stuff works. Really impressed. This is great. Right, so next is Osnabrück. Distance to go from here, 21 miles. We're at 5,000 feet, so that's absolutely fine. I won't cut it in any tighter just because I want to see it fly this turn. There it goes. So it is descending in flight level change, but it's got power on. So that's doing what you said then. So
it's doing the 2-minute descent probably.
It's just doing a gradual descent.
Because it's going from 5 to 3.
Yeah.
So you probably do about 1,000 feet a minute, isn't it? Yeah.
I am blown away by how much I didn't know. I thought this, I could just ask you a couple of limitations or something, but there's so many things about this airplane that I had no clue about. And it's doing it. It's just great. So, 800 feet per minute, that would be what I'd choose to do in the Airbus probably about now. I might actually slow it up a bit.
Point to speed up a bit more, yeah.
So if we did vertical speed now, I could just put 500 feet per minute in the window and watch it do that.
So yeah, you'd probably slow up a bit more.
Slow up,
yeah.
So
yeah, do next stage of flap first.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So I should have gone to flap 5. I've done flap 5,
and
then put the 5 bug.
And then 5 bug, yeah. And then it presents the next one to you.
Oh, I see. So it won't show us the next green bug until
you get to that one, yeah.
Okay.
So on a 10, you got loads of choice for flaps.
Yeah, there are too many, aren't there?
16, 17.
17 and 18. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot. You generally go 10, and then maybe 15, but probably straight to 20, and then 25.
So from here, I'd go to 10, And then
10, and then from there to 20.
And then 25 for landing. Right, okay.
Yeah, that's right. So it's more for performance. It gives you extra options for performance from takeoff, really.
I see, I see. So I'm the ILS now?
So yeah, I'm lock at this point.
Just lock?
Yeah, just lock at this point.
Where's that? There it is.
You can do it. You could do it both. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's gone to both.
Fine. Yeah,
there's lock. Fine. And then I'd press approach.
Yeah. And then that arms glide slope, yeah.
So we got lock, and then glide slope's arms, but not capturing. There it is, glide slope capture.
Yeah.
Go around altitude, do I put that in now?
Yeah, you can put that in now. Yeah.
3,000 feet for this one, I believe, which is already in. That's always nice. So we're a bit fast then. 200 knots at 10 miles. We're sort of on the upper edge of what.
Yeah, so slow down a bit more.
So should we? So I need to select flat 10.
You got flat 10s next, probably.
No, I don't know.
Maybe 180.
Flat 10. 180 in the window.
Get 180 out of that. Maybe just about. No, probably not. Is that just above the bug?
That's
might need the next stage.
So is it that fussy? See, again, the Airbus, we can go below these. We can go right down to basically VLS, which is not. You don't get that on the Boeings. It does. It's.
Yes.
That's generally stall speed.
Generally, don't go. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, general customer practices. Yeah. Don't go below that bug.
So let's go. I don't know what flap I'd set there.
Yeah.
Probably 15. Yeah, 15. We got flat 15 out. I hear the engine's spooling up a little bit.
Yeah, so you're at 180-ish, aren't we?
180 at 8 miles.
So distance, 8 miles, yeah. It's about right.
Quarter. Okay. There's a radio altimeter. Time to slow down, probably?
Yeah, but there's gear on flap 20.
So you just do gear from... Oh, yeah, so don't slow down, so flaps 20.
You do, yeah, and gear as well at this point.
Gear down. Down it goes.
And then, yeah, flap 20, and you're on the speed brake now as well.
So I have to arm it, okay.
Yeah,
how do I do that? Just there.
Lift it and pull it in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, you can back to whatever your next speed is.
So that'd be the 20.
Yeah.
Because we got flat 20 out, and then I'll go to flat 25.
5, and then you get maybe a VREF was plus probably 5 knots.
Well, that looks very slow, that VREF now. I'm not entirely convinced.
Yeah, that sounds quite slow.
It should be 140, 147 plus 5.
Yeah, sounds a bit more like it.
So
that sounds probably 160 tons. Yeah, about 147 sounds about right.
You think 147? Okay, let's do that.
You normally get about 142 plus 5.
And that would be right, because look, we've got the 25 plus 5. That feels right, doesn't it?
It should be, yeah.
Okay, and that's about, what's that? That pitch is at 1 or 2 degrees. Right. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's about right. And if the HUD's, it's normally got a 3-degree line on there as well, which is good.
Okay.
It lines up.
Yeah, so if I look at that HUD, that glide slope to me looks... I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I think that HUD's not quite as it would be in life.
That glide slope looks like we're high.
Yeah, it's below the horizon. Yeah, it's
low,
not close, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's funny because without that looks great to me.
Yeah.
I bring that down. Oh, it looks like we're high. We're off to the side. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It can be a distraction, actually.
Can it?
Yeah, you got that HUD brightness above you. I don't think you can turn that down in this, but yeah, it's generally turn it down so you're almost looking through it.
Oh, do you really? Right.
And you just have it as a bit of guidance in between. Rather than actually...
They probably only cost about £1 million each, but everyone just takes the brightness down. So we think we're good. We got the gear down. We got the flaps. We got the arms. We got the auto brakes. We're stable. We're going to land. Does that sound right?
Sounds like a plan.
Right. Talk me through a landing. What do I need to do? What's the tricks?
About 30 feet. You hit 30. Quick pause, and then a check.
30 feet. Interesting. I thought it would be higher, being a heavier airplane.
Yeah, about 30 feet. Pause, then you flare.
Big ground effect from those efficient wings, I suppose.
Yeah, the auto thrust take care of everything else, obviously. So.
Will the auto thrust close the thrust levers for us?
Yeah, it should go to idle.
Really? Okay.
And then you want probably idle reverse at some point as well. The auto brakes, it's a braking distance calculation rather than a level of actual braking. So no matter how much reverse you put on, it will just do less braking.
So there's the autopilot out. It's all manual trim and so on from here, is it?
Yeah, in the sense of the 7/8 manual trimmers.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
That's probably a whole other video.
Yeah, not 200 feet.
30. Raising those. Oh, engines are spooled up.
Yep.
That's not good. Let's lower those again.
All right. A bit reverse.
There's touchdown. A bit late there. There's the reverse. So yeah, I don't think the auto thrust system worked quite as. Oh wow! Well, there's the stopping distance.
Yeah, brake forward's pretty good.
That was that's intense, isn't it? Okay, we'll release that with manual brakes. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the auto thrust there, but it should have just idled. But for whatever reason, mine spooled up. So great, and that's it. So 30 feet, pause, flare. It should idle the thrust, touchdown and reverse. I mean, that's it. It's just
easy.
Like every other airplane.
Yep.
Excellent.
200. 100. 10. 30. 20. 10.
Right, so here we are at our vacating point. We talked about taxiing earlier, so taking it nice and slow and getting it behind these windows before we turn. Anything we do as part of the rollouts?
No, so the auto brake came out, so it's generally don't do anything until you're off the runway.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. Idle reverse, packed away. But
When do you bring the... If you were using max reverse, when would you bring that to
so
idle?
you get a reverse idle at 60 knots. Yeah, it's a good point to turn. Yeah, reverse idle at 60 knots, and then forward idle when you're at taxiing speed.
So reverse idle 60, forward idle. Okay, so it's, yeah, very close to the Airbus. Cool. So we are at taxiing speed, so I've gone to forward, obviously, and now I'm revving up the engines, trying to get around the turn. The speed brakes are disarmed by themselves, it seems.
Yeah, they normally stay. Yeah, they normally stay up, and then you just once you clear the runway, you stow them.
So it should be like that. I'm not 100% confident they deployed. I don't know if I got that set up right for the arming, but they should have done anyway. Because the lever looks like it's very much in the not interested position. Good. Okay, so let's get ourselves off the runway. Where's the terminal? It's just up there. I suppose it takes a while to get that tail off the runway.
Yeah, to get yourself clear.
It's hard to turn on the ground, isn't it? Because now, if I keep the speed up, I feel like I'm going to go off the edge. So I have to...
Yeah, I'd say about 7 knots is good. That's what the HUD's good for. The shows you deceleration of things.
Right, yeah, we're only 2 knots, so that's just too slow.
Yeah, yeah, if you lose your momentum.
I'm revving those engines to get around this turn. Come on, airplane, you can do it. And like I say, even doing that was slightly early, probably. Yeah, that the main wheels are off to the left.
Yeah,
Right.
it's further than you think, actually.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah. I know Concorde, they sat over the grass because the wheel was so far behind them. Right, so what now?
So if you're in icing conditions again, you turn your engine back on at this point, but we're not.
Is that because it only works in auto in flight?
Yeah, it doesn't work on the ground in auto, exactly.
I see.
Obviously, you don't need that in flight either. It's all your lights out at this point. Turn your landing runs on, your strobes off and things.
Leave those on. Strobes can come off. Taxi light can come on, I suppose.
Yeah, turn the weather radars off.
Are they not off automatically with weight on wheels?
No, so you give weather button a push there.
Yeah, that's off now.
They auto brake to off. And run the flaps up.
Flaps
Very
up.
good. Then transponder back to TCAS or to transponder mode.
I like this. I like that they left it as a rotary dial like every other transponder instead of having it hidden away in this menu. I think that's great.
Buttons.
Just just an easy dial instead of having to click through 3 different screens. Can we get rid of the HUD yet, or do we have to leave that out?
Yeah, you can get rid of that when you're taxiing in, actually.
Is that what you'd normally do, even with so you're not too worried about
Generally,
that
yeah, it's
accelerator thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to help you with the turning, but yeah, you don't need it.
Do you ever hit your head on it?
Not really, no. It's out
far
of the way.
enough forward, is it?
Yeah, and it has a mechanism in it. So if you do a rejected takeoff or something,
Yeah.
If you stop quickly, it'll move itself forwards out of the way.
You're
so
joking.
you don't bang your head on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. What a complicated thing to add to an aeroplane. I've done that way too early. I don't even want to look. Yeah. I went straight back into sort of an Airbus. Almost dragging those wheels through the grass. Not quite though, not quite. Right,
if we start the APU at this point,
start
should get closer. It takes a couple of minutes normally.
Starts. And that just toggles back to on, does it? Or would it stay in start
Yeah,
until it's on?
it starts just it's just like a second there, then it'll toggle back to on.
I'm having trouble with this because what happens is if I push my pedals all the way left, you see that slowly moving there. If I go all the way left too quickly, it actually reverses and goes to sort of a neutral position. And there's a car, obviously. Treat it like a follow me. Okay, so APU. Any sign up here when it's online, or you just?
No, so getting down to the ICAS, you'd have APU running.
You just look on
that. Would appear, okay. Yeah. But you could look on that status page again.
Ecosystems stat. Although it just gives us loads of numbers, it doesn't particularly say.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to 100, there.
RPM's 100, so that's
that
it
would
really.
That would be when it says APU running normally.
Right, let's. Where should we park? Let's go take a jet bridge, I think, next to the Manta 320. Excellent. So flaps are up. Yeah. Any limitations on flaps with temperatures or anything like that? Or you just take them up at the bird strike?
No, there's things with ice and snow on them and things, but yeah, generally it's...
That's all the same then. I think we take this one here. And this is where your passengers here are just sitting there with their drinks and their little holders. What's in this trolley?
Where's that? Oh, in the middle of the seats?
Yeah.
No, it's a bit of stowage. There's made those lockers and things like that.
Okay, nothing exciting.
There's a table in there. Another table.
Still, you know, unless it's a table sitting right in front of you, it's just not the same. So let's go further somewhere here and then turn.
Out there, that's it.
Because turning onto stand is obviously the one to get right, isn't it?
That's the one definitely that requires lining up properly.
Always a 90-degree turn. So I'll turn off those taxi lights.
Yeah, the lights go, yeah. To the doors at some point.
Come on, you can do it. Oh no, it's still not far enough. I can't believe it. Look at that.
Yeah, it's much further than you think.
It's incredible. There we go. Nailed it. And that'll do there, I think. Set that park brake. Now what?
So you want 5-minute cooldown on the engine, which you've probably had by now.
5 minutes from just in flight, is that even without reverse?
From landing, from idle reverse.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you check you got the APU running. We have.
We're assuming we have, yeah.
So at this point you can go fuel cut off.
Just shut down?
Just shut down.
I don't need to engage the APU generator or anything because it's already on.
No, it's on. The APU's on. You've got ground power there as well if you want it, but yeah, that's it. Off.
Off they go.
And you do a bit of a sweep up on top.
Well,
that's it, we're done.
No, it's got. Look at that. It's even the wrong total. What is? I don't know what that's telling us. We'll continue with this. Thank you. Right. Okay. So the engine's shutting down.
So up to the overhead panel.
Yep.
You turn off the hydraulic pumps, which aren't working actually, are they?
Sadly, no.
You do the fuel pumps. They go off. Do the passenger signs off.
Where were they? Where were they? There they are.
Forward and left a bit. Go off. Beacon go off. Then you'd go up and turn the flight deck door power off at that point. Both probably not work.
No.
Then that's it. You go back down and turn the flight directors off.
Flight directors off. That horrible switch. Can't believe they've used that with everything else in the airplane.
And then transponder to standby.
And that's us.
That's it.
Here we are, parked up. A successful flight in the Dreamliner. Finally then, if the passengers were to be allowed off the aeroplane, let me see if I can get that jet bridge attached and we'll open up some of the doors. Just waiting for my thing to connect. So we would be shutting down soon. So, there we go. So bringing the jetway over. Open up the door. Open up the cargo door. There we go. Bit early.
Door first.
Might want to wait until the jet bridge is done. There it comes. And I suppose on the... Oh, we got a warning. Our first warning of the day. If I press recall... No, it doesn't work. And our door page, they're open. Look at that. It works. Yeah, so...
It's automatic, but...
How do you mean?
The doors. So the little A.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see.
Doors,
They should be manual by now.
Yeah, it'd be manual, yeah.
Right, otherwise the slides will deploy.
Still impressed.
So, time to shut down then, once the passengers are all off. So, what do we do next?
So you go up to the IRSs, turn those off.
IRS off.
Top.
Yep.
And then the battery, it can go off. You probably take the external power as well at this point.
Yeah, so the APU's off.
So you press those on, and then...
Ah, no, it turned off the APU generator by doing that.
Yeah, so there you go, then you do APU off now.
Is that right? So you turn on that, it would turn off the APU gen?
Yeah.
Would it move the switch?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Or would it just light up as off?
No, yeah, the switch wouldn't work, no.
No, I was going to say, because otherwise that means that now the generator's off.
And I think actually it prioritises the APU, now think about it.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm not sure, I'm not sure that is quite correct.
Well, that's off. We're on ground power.
Yeah.
Battery off.
So the battery can go off.
Yeah.
Emergency lights can go off.
Oh.
The top there, above the window heat. I don't know if that will work.
No.
No,
certainly not.
The packs would go off on the other side.
Oh, they didn't work either. There they are.
Oh, yeah.
There's right
No,
back.
okay. I think that is it.
So then, to completely kill it, we would just
Completely get rid of it.
go clunk.
That's it.
And that's
APU
that.
off, external
We've done
power
it.
off. That's it.
We've made it, and it's shut down. Well, thank you very much, Steve, for taking the time to come and show us all that fantastic
cool.
inside knowledge into the 787. It's yeah, it's far more advanced. I knew it was an advanced airplane, but it's more advanced than I'd pictured it would be, especially with the way it looks after you. You'd think it was designed for short haul with the amount of things it does for you. The fact that you have 12 hours to do it.
Exactly, it's well put together. It's it's there to help people fly it, I think. It's very intuitive.
Yeah, you can tell. It's yeah, absolutely lovely. Well, I'll say then thank you very much, Steve, for taking the time to come along and share all that excellent knowledge. I'm sure the viewers will really appreciate it, and thank you for having such patience with the simulator and me, and guiding us through it, because that's a lot of stuff I didn't know there, and loads of great little bits of information. So yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. So thank you for taking the time.
Not at all. Anytime.
And if the viewers would like, we'll see if there's any big questions or burning questions that come out of it, and maybe we can get together again and get some more videos done. Sort out some of the more of those systems pages we didn't get around to, or some other little guides, maybe non-precision approaches, things like that. So if anyone would like to see that, do please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you'd like to see more. And there'll be plenty of live streams coming soon, plenty more videos. So we'll see you again soon. Do keep safe and well. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.